Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check one, check two. Check, check, check. Can't hear the station at all. Yeah.
Check, check.
Hey, Zach. Doing great. How are you? Good work, everybody. We have been led under the cage yet again. How do they keep trusting us? We are on location on an Oilers game night, final preseason game this evening in Vancouver. It starts at 8. We have our Oil Stream pregame show with Tom and Hernan at 7, and then they'll have their postgame show after the game. Stuart Skinner in net. Nurse with Andreson on the blue line for the first time. Kulak and Stetcher expected to be the third pair. And Noah Philp will play fourth line center as Derek Ryan is listed as day-to-day, though they did say he should be good to go on the ice for Sunday's practice. The team will be off tomorrow. Of course, the Elks' massive game tomorrow against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We'll touch on that as we move along, as well as, yes, the James H. Brown studio is mobile today. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com today. Book your private consultation. He's Jay Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. And yes, we are at South Fort. I love it. I know they didn't put that for our purposes, but there's a huge sign straight across from where we're sitting from, just to remind me of our location. We are at South Fort Chev.
How convenient.
That's just very convenient.
Very
convenient. Where am I? Oh, I'm right here.
What a day it's been. I've been here since the hangout. We've met a lot of the fine folks here. It's been hopping in here. It's kind of exciting. You like to see all the action going on, from sales. I mean, Big Uke was down here, almost left with a truck.
Oh, wow.
I'm serious. Yeah, he's. I talked to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I need a new truck." So I decided to come down and check out the interest-free options. 0% interest on new Silverados.
Oh, that's incredible.
Been a while since
they got a lot of stuff. I've never been here. As you know, I rarely leave Edmonton.
Yes. Well, you rarely leave your house.
Also true.
Yes.
Well, I like my house. Why leave it?
Why leave it?
But I rarely leave it. Like when I went to what your place is by, what's that called? Sherwood Forest?
It's close enough. Sherwood Park.
When I was there, I was like, where am I? I was discombobulated. And nice drive out here to Fort Saskatchewan, and incredible hospitality. And as you said, the station has been here since 6 a.m. That is an extensive on location. Usually you're on location for a show or two, as we've done.
Yeah.
Is this our 4th on location show already in our brief tenure as colleagues?
We move, baby.
We were at the Century Casino. We were at Sit and Sleep. We were at the theater at the Garnet.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And now we're here.
I told you, we got to go out and around. You got to be in the community. That's what it's all about.
And now we're in Fort Saskatchewan at South Fort Chev. You're welcome to come visit us.
Yes.
We'll do our best. Well, we're on air. We'll do our best to visit with people, but visit the staff here. Check out a vehicle. Jay mentioned some of the great promotions they have going on, and we'll talk more about that throughout the afternoon. We are going to dive into here the Oil Understood, presented by the good folks at GCL Diesel. Providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. Okay, I gave some quick lineup notes for the game tonight. We'll talk about that as we move along. I do want to, because I feel like this is a big... I don't know if story is the right word. It's a big talking point, the documentary that came out.
Sure.
And we've touched on it a couple times. We've played the McDavid audio. I don't know if we need to play it again, because I listened to Dusty for about half hour this morning, and I think they played it 47 times. So it's been heard. We played it yesterday.
I think there was 47 swears that were played.
Or maybe that was it. Yes, but they were having some fun with it, obviously. I watched this morning. Now, I know some people listening have probably watched, I don't know if they've watched the whole series, but the two sort of Oilers-centric episodes are 5 and 6 out of the 6. And they've already all dropped. So this morning, as I was getting ready for the show, I watched episode 5.
Okay.
So there's a lot on McDavid and just sort of his, it doesn't do a career recap, but his trajectory as being a top player. There's some footage of him as a kid. There's some footage from one of his first scrums as an Oiler.
Yep.
Guess who's in the shot?
You are.
Little Wilkie's in the shot. A friend texted me yesterday,
Little Wilkie,
who'd seen it ahead of time because they work for OEG.
Yes.
And said, I didn't know you used to have a full beard. And I was like, yes, I did sometimes have a beard. So it's a bearded Wilkie holding a mic up to McDavid.
Huh.
But there's some behind the scenes stuff with him in his home. There's some comments, and we reread some of those yesterday from Draisaitl, just about playing in Edmonton and the passion of Oilers fans and fun stuff like that. It kind of jumps into the playoffs in the Dallas series, and then gets into the Stanley Cup final, and then they have some stuff with another guy. His last name's Tkachuk.
Personal favorite
of most Oilers fans. And then it goes kind of through the first 2 games of the series, and it ends with the McDavid rant. That's how episode 5 ends. I have not seen episode 6 yet. I probably won't watch it tonight because I'll watch the game. But I'll watch it. The rest of the series, I don't feel that compelled to watch, so I'll probably watch it gradually. I don't feel as if I need to watch it all this weekend. I want to watch the Oilers-centric stuff, even though I was obviously covering the team during that time too. the access is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The cameras are right in there during the intermissions and after games. And obviously there are, interviews set up with players during the series. As I said, the camera is right in McDavid's home. You see his living room. You see his personal chef. There's an interesting comment by Lauren, which we're going to get to for the off-topic topic that's being talked about.
I can't imagine what that comment will be.
I can't imagine what that comment would be. There is some really good stuff from Hyman. By the way, you see the side of Hyman's bum because he's on a massage table.
Sweet.
There's a lot of profanity. So if you do have, I don't know how kids manage their parents. Like once I sort of reached a certain age, my parents weren't too concerned with what I was watching, or how parents manage their kids with profanity and film and television and stuff like that.
It happens.
Yeah.
But in sports, though, this is spoken like a true sport dad. In sports, I think swearing is almost not acceptable, but it's you're going to expect it, especially if you're watching. And I'm talking about in a documentary. I'm not talking about your kid's U13 basketball team. No, they should not be swearing. I'm just saying what to expect as a parent if you're watching a documentary like this, or like Receiver, or like some of these other high-profile Full Swing, the golf one. You should expect that there is some level of bad language.
There's a lot,
and
there's
honestly,
a lot.
I'm of the belief that if they're at least they can see what's happening here and know that yes, frustrations run high and people say things and sometimes lose their composure, and this is what you look like.
I will say, and I see by the way, you can chime in, get in touch with us by texting 780-218-9999. That's the EST inbox. The Nasty Chat on YouTube, as always, is off and running. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com. The Wolf says, I'm a minute 13 seconds into the first Oilers episode, and I swear I'm not crying. You're crying. I have to admit, the first minute is tough. It's episode 5 starts with the Oilers leaving the ice and then being in the dressing room right after Game 7. And as I've said, Jay, I would never place my following of the team on the level of being a fan, because I think that's disrespectful to fans and their passion. I'm a broadcaster. I'm a media guy.
Yeah,
I cover the team. But I'm also clear, I want them to win. I want Edmonton teams and athletes to do well. And that was tough seeing the shots after Game 7. And there's silence and, heads resting on folded hands, things like that. And then McDavid starts bawling.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. And it was a very, of all the moments that to me, that was a more human moment than seeing him with his personal chef or seeing the rally cry speech after Game 2. Like, you realize how important it is. And yes, I know they're well paid and multimillionaires and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which should make this even more impressive.
But you can feel it sinking in. That's a whole season. We came down to one game, even one period, if you want to put it into the third, a chance to tie it and maybe get it into overtime, and they couldn't do it. And I mean, it was tough. And then I believe Hyman then says, "Get these effing cameras out of here."
Yeah,
it was tough, but it was good. I think it's well done. I think it does take you behind the scenes, and again, even for me, as knowing the whole Oilers story from last season, because I'd like to think I'm one of the people that helped document and bring it to the audience. It's pretty cool. It's pretty well done, and I do think it's a good piece of storytelling. And I still got to watch the 6th episode.
Yeah, and I mean, Lars says it's called emotion, non-scripted, raw emotion. And that's what you want out of this.
Yeah, but he might be just referring to the profanity.
Wow, it works for both. I got news for you.
No,
it works for both.
which leads us to, I got to plug my laptop in. We'll do that during the break.
Yeah, I was already down there earlier on my hands and knees plugging mine in. You could have just thrown me a cord.
Well, I know you're nice enough. You would have done it for me.
I would have done it. I would do anything for you, Reid.
Thank you.
I'd take a bullet for you.
Okay, let's not get carried away.
I would.
There is a prison just down the road.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, get this. Mark Schantz, former Golden Bears O lineman, went on to play for the then Eskimos.
Yeah.
Won a Grey Cup with the Eskimos. Is the warden at that prison?
He's the warden.
He's the warden.
Would he come on the show?
No.
He probably is not allowed to talk about stuff in there.
He's just not. He would be.
I did talk to, I think it was Greg Hoggett, because he was a friend of Rob Brown. I interviewed him several years ago. He became some sort of a prison guard or a prison escort.
Yeah.
Escorting prisoners or something like that. Yeah.
Prison escort, they allow those in prison?
God. Speaking of the off-topic topic, that is the after-hours topic for that special logo that Gager showed me.
We dim the lights around here.
The off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading graphics with design, print, and install all in-house for thousands of valued clients. Through unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff advantage. Check out their website, williamhuff.com, or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. Okay. So it's very brief. If you haven't seen the documentary, it goes by quite quickly. But there is a scene, McDavid and Lauren are eating a meal prepared by their personal chef, and I believe it's McDavid's manager and personal trainer also at dinner. And Lauren gets something kind of under a tea towel, and she takes off the tea towel, and there's a bottle of ketchup underneath, and she goes, well, they basically have to sneak this to me at the table. And she says something like, Connor's afraid of ketchup. So I know this has taken off now today. Why is he afraid of ketchup? And I watch that and say, okay, in what context is she saying afraid of ketchup? Does he actually have a phobia of it? Does it just gross him out? Does he not like the flavor of the smell, so he doesn't even want him around it? I don't know. But he has some sort of disdain for ketchup. So our off-topic topic is, please tell us your most irrational fear. Because I think I certainly do. I'll reveal mine in a second here. I would think there are things in life that frighten people. And perhaps even if it doesn't frighten a certain individual, if they heard it frighten another individual, they might say, oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Or yeah, that might be tough. But there are other things, I think, if person A told person B, hey, I'm afraid of this, person B would be like, how are you possibly afraid of that? Of all the things in the world. I would think ketchup would be one thing. But again, we don't know the context of how Connor is afraid of it. But I will tell you mine.
Okay.
It's spiders. I can't stand them.
That's not irrational.
They creep me out. Yeah, but I don't like.
I would say that's a bona fide fear.
But here's the thing. I'm 5,000 times the size of a spider.
Yeah.
But I would think most of the ones in Alberta are not deadly if they bite you. But I don't like seeing them. I don't like how they move. A couple times in my life when I've had one on me, I've just been freaked out. I do not like close-up pictures of them.
Yeah.
Like, it just freaks me out. Though, oddly enough, my favorite superhero of all time is Spider-Man.
Oh,
but I think my disdain / fear / ooby-gooby feeling, heebie-jeebie feeling, sorry,
heebie-jeebie,
is with spiders is I consider it irrational. I think it's a little much. You're not afraid of anything.
Yeah, I am.
Irrationally?
Terrified of birds.
Really?
Yeah.
You have something in common with my mother, Louise Wilkins.
Yeah, and we have one that lived in our house.
Not a flying one, though.
A duck. No, I broke its wings.
Jeez, that's awful. You're in a dark mood today. You're a little,
hey,
well, you've been here all day.
Sitting in a car dealership.
You've been sitting in a car dealership all day. So
I was, and yeah, we're going to bring Garret Anderson on after the break here. He is the general sales manager here at South Fort Chev. I was over there. I was saying, hey, look, man, I used to do sales. Put me on the board. Let me get involved. Put me out on the yard.
Yeah, you could do it.
I never got the call. I never got the come on in reliever status.
All right. Garrett's ready. Are we bringing him here in the middle?
Yeah, we'll go to break. We'll set it up.
Okay.
We'll get them all ready to go.
All right. So Garret Anderson's going to hop in. Still ahead, by the way. We're pretty sure we have a rodeo guest today.
Fingers crossed.
After getting stiffed yesterday.
And actually quite exciting. Yeah, Layton Green, Canadian Saddle Bronc champion.
List? Oh, because we moved this around. I printed this out before we made the changes. Yeah, one of the top saddle bronc guys in the country. From
winner of last night's go-around at the CFR.
Yeah, Matt Sekeres is on from the Sekeres and Price Talk Show to talk about the Canucks. And Hernan's going to hop on a little bit later on. We'll have my top three. We'll have my limericks. We'll have buying or selling for Damon Bunting. All coming up right now for Sit and Sleep, a sports update with Kubik.
The Oilers are out in Vancouver for their final preseason game against the Canucks at 8 o'clock. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Hernan Salas and Tom Gazzola at 7 o'clock, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Other games have the Flames meeting the Jets, the Senators facing the Red Wings, and the Islanders playing the Rangers. Earlier, it was the Devils beating the Sabres 4-1 in Czechia for the lone regular season game. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away indefinitely. Campbell has played for the Stars, Kings, Maple Leafs, Oilers, and most recently signed with Detroit this offseason. In the CFL, it's the Blue Bombers duking it out against the Ticats, and the Stamps hitting the turf with the Lions. Tomorrow, the Elks battle the Riders in Commonwealth, with that game going at 5 o'clock. And Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne will be live for the Green and Gold kickoff show just an hour before the action at 4. NFL injuries see Zamir White and Devontae Adams out for the Raiders. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson as questionable. Romeo Doubs of the Packers is questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku questionable with the chance to play for the Browns. And Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. Right after the break, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne live from South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Sask continues, but this sports update has been brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always The Ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Lynyrd Skynyrd with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm boring,
even I'm not doing that. All right, hope you're having a great Friday afternoon. Oilers at Vancouver tonight to close out the preseason. We will have the Oil Stream pregame show at 7 with Tom and Hernan and Cassian, and then they'll join you after the game for the Oil Stream post-game show. Preseason wrapping up. Quick note, if you missed it earlier, Derek Ryan will not play. Noah Philp is going to be in the lineup, and Nurse and Emerson will finally be together. Along with Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. We are at South Fort Chev in Fort Saskatchewan. Garret Anderson is the general sales manager here. Garret, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for amazing hospitality, having us here for 12 hours today. We really appreciate it.
No problem. You guys are always welcome down in South Fort.
Are we?
Maybe not you, Jay, but the rest of you guys. Great.
That's poor Jay.
This poor guy's been looking at me all day, watching me, like waiting for my cue to come take the sales floor and, give me a shot. Do you think I could have done it? Like, really?
You know what? We were pretty busy about an hour ago, and we ran out of sales staff for all the customers, and you almost got the call, but we decided to get the lot attendant to help instead. But you
The
were next
lot
up
attendant got pushed in over me.
today. Next time, it'll be you.
Garrett, I think I can do this.
Time will tell.
Okay, Garrett, let's get down to brass tacks here. What's going on here at South Fort? What are some of the deals that are being offered? I mean, Claire came in earlier and mentioned that. Let me find it here. It was pretty impressive that for today during the show or during our on location. So Big Uke was in earlier.
Yes.
He was checking out a truck, and if you buy a truck, you get free 3M coverage and lifetime oil changes.
That is correct.
Lifetime of oil changes.
As long as you own your vehicle and you get your oil changed here, you get them for free.
Wow, that is a good deal. And he was surprised to hear that it was 0% as well. So tell us a bit about what's going on here at South Fort Chev.
Well, the main thing we're trying to do today is we're trying to raise some money and get some food donations for the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Saskatchewan. And obviously offer some good savings to customers with 0%, like you mentioned. And just mainly raising some money and having some German sausage and pretzels for the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Saskatchewan.
Now, did you indulge in any of the brats out there? Have you had one?
I've had about 5. Yes.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
I'm not far behind you because they are delicious. And the pretzels.
I know.
What
really good
sorcery. Who made those?
I have no idea.
Das Pretzel House.
There you go.
In Fort Saskatchewan. In Edmonton. Das Pretzel. They are the finest pretzels I've ever had.
I will be a customer for life, that's for sure.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Who do you think is going to be the third right-hand defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers starting the season on Wednesday?
You know what? I haven't put a ton of thought into that.
What? Not everybody thinks about this every day and every night?
It's not every day and every night. I'm definitely a big Oilers fan, but I hadn't. I'm a once the regular season starts kind of guy. I'm all in. But
it's fair.
What are my options?
Well, I mean, we got Stetcher.
Yep.
Dermott. Yeah.
Dermott and Brown not playing tonight.
Stetcher is in. With Kulak.
I'm leaning Stetcher only because we gave up an asset or two for him at the deadline last year. So
don't mind that.
I will lean Stetcher.
Stetcher season it is.
There it is.
So tell me about now when I started in broadcasting, Fort Saskatchewan had the Traders, the AJHL team.
Yes.
Which I believe are long gone now, I think. But I know you guys sponsor at least one hockey team that I know of, maybe others. But tell us a little bit about the sporting community here in Fort Sask.
Fort Saskatchewan's they've brought a lot of good athletes to the table, professionally, collegiate. I'm not from Fort Saskatchewan personally, but I just from what I've heard and what I know, and teams that my kids have played against, Fort Saskatchewan always seems to bring a really good group of kids to the table. So,
well, we've got a special. Hi, Dad. I hear you right now. By the way, this is Garrett's son.
Oh, amazing!
What's your son's name?
That's my son. Texting my son. I have 2 sons. I'm Jackson and Mason.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, go ahead and say hi.
Hey, boys. What's going on? Thanks for watching me.
This is great. I love it. So you said that you're not from Fort Sask, but South Fort Chev is doing a lot, obviously, in the community.
Yes.
They continue to do it. They are the title sponsor of this South Fort Rangers.
Yes.
The AAA U17 team. And we will have the coach coming on shortly after 4, so stay tuned for that. As far as community involvement and as a dealership, you can only spend so much and share it around so much. Was that a focus for you guys to get into the sporting side of things? Was that or did it fall into your guys' laps?
No, I think that's always been a thing that the dealership's always wanted to do since I've been here. I know that's something has been a talking point, is making sure we're involved in the community at the try to be at the grassroots level locally. I know, obviously our general manager, Daniel, is a big sports fan. I'm a big sports fan. So it's something that's close to our, to our hearts. And yeah, however we can help and be involved in Fort Saskatchewan and, surrounding, we'll do it. So,
okay. I saw both of your Nerf gun collections, and it's been the talk of the town. Is there private one-on-one Nerf battles here? Kind of like paintball style with the trucks as the decoys after the shop closes?
I didn't tell you guys anything was off limits, but that type of thing is off limits.
Okay. I hear you.
What happens after hours is not to be talked about.
Understood. It's like Fight Club.
exactly like
Right.
that. Yep.
I understand. All right, Patriots fan, what do you think? What's going on? Where are you? Do you think Jacoby Brissett is the worst quarterback in the NFL or the second worst?
He's got to be up there. They are so difficult to watch these days. It's he's up there for sure. I'd love to see a little bit more Drake May myself, just to see if we have a quarterback or not. But I guess I don't get to make those decisions from South Fort Chevrolet. So
it's a sad situation where if you have a quarterback like your first round draft pick in Drake May and you allow him time to grow, a la Patrick Mahomes was behind Alex Smith for a year and a half. A lot of people forget that, but when you have the time to develop, it really helps. And it seems like Patriots fans are continually stuck. I mean, Mac Jones did the same thing, where they were thrust into action and not given the time to develop. But it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm a Commanders fan. We have Jaden Daniels, so
I think you have a winner there. For sure.
We're Super Bowl bound, pretty much.
Yeah, the Patriots fan base is obviously very impatient. I think because of obviously 20 years of Tom Brady and the absolute domination
that should
of
make
the league.
them more patient. That should make them more patient.
You know what?
It's not like if they were always on the verge of failing, then you could be impatient. How can they be impatient after being one of the dominant North American pro sports franchises, any sport in the history of North American pro sports?
Well, let me answer this, Reid. I guess like the Oilers, they're going to go on another cup run this year, and they're going to lock her down, and then they're going to win another one next year, and then say in 5 years from now, or not 5 years, 10 years from now, it goes in the other direction. I mean, how patient is the fan base going to be here?
I think they would be somewhat satisfied if they had a decade of greatness. I honestly think
it's been 4 or 5 years, I guess, for the Pats.
I honestly think that the Oilers fans, if they won 4 cups in the next 10 years and then started to suck again, I think they would be intelligent enough to realize, like, okay, there's going to be a little bit of a downturn.
Yeah,
a little bit of a downturn. Hopefully not 30 years like we saw from 1990 to 2020.
Right.
And then including 10 years out of the playoffs.
This is true. Yeah, you're not wrong, I guess.
The Patriots fan base should not be impatient about anything. Just saying.
Well, and just saying, you're not going to get too much sympathy.
Yes, maybe that's my
Mr.
general
Super
point.
Bowl guy over here.
Fair enough.
Flash your rings
Reid,
all you
who's
want.
your team, Reid?
Seahawks.
Yeah,
I could
Malcolm
be
Butler.
impatient.
Yes.
Yeah. Me too. We haven't done anything since the early 90s.
Well,
At least you guys got to a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they won one.
Three
I guess so.
Super Bowls
Yeah.
since 06 or 07.
Yeah.
1 win, 2 losses.
So obviously, the top story today was the NHL documentary that came out on Amazon Prime, and how came out through Connor's wife Lauren that Connor has what we've discovered is a bit of an irrational fear of ketchup.
Okay.
I'm deathly afraid of birds. I think they're way too fast and agile, and they peck, peck. It just freaks me out. No animal should move that fast. Reid, his fear is spiders, which I don't think is irrational. I think that's fair because they actually bite. Ducks are like harmless. You could kick them and they die. Yet here I am running from them.
What about geese?
That's what they're
Well, geese is not irrational.
wings.
I'm not a big fan of those either.
Wings, whether they work or don't, it doesn't matter. I just am terrified of anything with a beak. Garret, what is your irrational fear? Losing the deal?
Snakes? Yeah, that's a huge fear of mine.
Losing it up?
Yeah. We've had a few of those today. But,
you'll get back. Keep your chin up.
Exactly. I've always had this fear of like freshwater swimming and there being snakes in the water.
Snakes?
I don't know if it was a movie from when I was a kid. I have some sort of like underlying issue about it, but I really have this fear of like snakes and like water where it's murky and you can't really see what's going on. So.
Okay. That's fair. My wife she will not go into a lake unless it's crystal clear.
Fair. I get it.
That takes out all the lakes in Alberta because she thinks a fish is going to bite her.
A fish.
Like just like a perch or something?
Yeah, or a jackfish, like
piranha.
Jackfishes are like
Alberta
alligators,
piranha?
essentially.
I feel like a fish bite wouldn't hurt as much as a snake bite.
No, a snake bite would be way worse.
Okay,
all right,
Garret, before we wrap up, I got to ask you this. How long have you been doing this here at South Fort, and who's your favorite staff member?
Jeez.
I've been here since the beginning of April, and we have lots of...
That's the GM.
I know that's the GM, yeah. That's Daniel. He's a great guy.
Oh, Daniel.
He's a
Okay,
great
that's
guy.
a good answer. Yeah.
We have really, really great people here.
You know what I was going
I
to
would
say?
have to say my favorite staff member is probably, I'm going to go with Claire.
Oh, wow. That is
You know,
great.
it's a tie between Claire and Daniel. Actually, they're both great. So.
Well, yeah, there are some hearts broken out there for sure. But you know what? I got to say, as being here all day and getting to take it all in, this is not your average car dealership. And you guys should be very proud of that here at South Fort Chevrolet. This is very much so a family. And you can tell it comes across in the way you guys approach your customers and the way you've approached us all day and being so accommodating. So kudos to you guys here. You're running a great operation. Keep it up. Awesome job involving the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Saskatchewan. If you are in the area, if you are driving home right now and you're going to be coming out towards Fort Saskatchewan, stop by. They are in need of snacks for the Boys and Girls Club for the kids that partake in that program. So drop some off. We're trying to fill up the back truck bed of a Colorado ZR2 Bison Edition. How's that?
That was perfect.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
On sale right
Next
now
up
for
is yours.
$79.9. Lower?
I think 74.6.
70. Boom. I just saved you $5,000.
There you go.
74.6. Well, thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
coming.
Thanks for the
This was great.
hospitality,
Appreciate
Garret.
it.
Thanks for having
We
us.
appreciate it. Hey,
Thanks for coming.
we're on to Cincinnati.
We're on to
I'll
Cincinnati.
give you that one as
Yeah,
a Patriots fan.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right.
Thank you.
We'll talk some rodeo next. And yeah, we are at South Fort Chevy until 6. Sports update with the Coop.
The Oilers are out in Vancouver for their final preseason game tonight against the Kraken. That game goes at 8 o'clock, and you can join the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Hernan Salas and Tom Gazzola at 7 o'clock, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Other games have the Flames meeting the Jets, the Senators facing the Red Wings, and the Islanders playing the Rangers. While earlier today, it was the Devils beating the Sabres 4-1 in Czechia for the lone regular season game. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away indefinitely. Campbell has played for the Stars, Kings, Maple Leafs, Oilers, and signed with Detroit this offseason. In the CFL, the Blue Bombers duke it out against the Ticats, and the Stamps hit the turf with the Lions. Tomorrow, the Elks battle the Riders in Commonwealth Stadium at 5 o'clock, and Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne will be live for the Green and Gold kickoff show just an hour before the action at 4 o'clock. NFL injuries sees Amir White and Devontae Adams out for the Raiders. Romeo Dobbs of the Packers is questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku questionable with the chance to play for the Browns. And Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. And speaking of Cowboys, right after the break, Layton Green joins Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
All right, hope you're having a great Friday afternoon. We are at South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan, along with Jay Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins, Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We got several special guests coming up throughout the afternoon to talk hockey, football, rodeo, Fort Saskatchewan sports. Going to be fun. We do have our off-topic topic, your most irrational fear.
Yeah, chime in. We haven't. I don't know if we've seen too many that have come in. So
somebody texted me along the lines of McDavid not liking ketchup. Somebody does not like tomato sauce on pizza.
What?
Yeah, which means you have. I mean, there are alternatives to tomato sauce.
I've had pizzas where you have like
standard
Alfredo sauce.
Yeah, like an Alfredo or a ranch or
Lovely.
a dill sauce or something like that. All right, we do have our guest online. Of course, the Canadian Finals Rodeo going on this week here in Edmonton, and we have saddle bronc rider Layton Green checking in. Layton, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. You guys?
We're doing well. Thanks a lot for joining us. I know you're busy with a lot going on. I understand you had a pretty good ride last night. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, it was a good night last night. It was our TV pen is what we call it. So the horses that they buck really hard, but they're the ones the guys want to get on. So yeah, I had a good horse, one I've been wanting to get on for quite a while, and it was 91 points. Ended up winning the round. So yeah, just some good momentum to roll in tonight and tomorrow.
Layton, it's been a while since I've covered rodeo, but I used to work in Lloydminster, so I was a little more plugged into that world. But I do know there's a lot of great stories in rodeo. Depending on what website you go to, you have two different hometowns, so I'll let you clarify it. But tell us about where you grew up and how you got into rodeo.
Yeah, no, I grew up in Meeting Creek, Alberta, little town just outside of Bashaw. It's kind of right in between Camrose and Statler. My parents, they still farm there and whatnot. And my dad, he rode bucking horses too. And I was kind of always around rodeo growing up. My grandfather, Lee Phillips, he actually won the very first Canadian Finals that they ever had. He was a steer wrestler and calf roper, and he's in the Rodeo Hall of Fame. So, rodeo was kind of in our blood growing up.
Layton Green on champion saddle bronc rider. Summer months are kind of where your bread is buttered, so to speak, being that you're in rodeos. But, most wouldn't know the crazy schedule that you have to keep. Give us some insight into how many rodeos you compete in and how many miles or hours of driving you would put in over a summer.
Yeah, it's pretty busy through the summertime. Most guys are trying to go to roughly 100 rodeos a year is what you can count towards the National Finals Rodeo in Vegas. And, most of the rodeos up here in Canada, they count towards the national finals down there too as well. So if you're rodeoing hard and you're doing it for a living and trying to make the national finals and the Canadian finals, you're throughout the summer, you're kind of going every day. It seems like you got anywhere from a 7 to 12 hour drive. And, some days you can work a run together where you'll hit 2 rodeos in one day and carry on to them busy summer weeks and months. You'll be going to a rodeo every single day.
Wow, that's 2 rodeos in one day. I heard that correct?
Yeah. There's been times where we've done 3 in one day, but that gets to be a little old trying to make that work. But
yeah, that would be a tough one. I saw that one of the rodeos you were champion at was the Bruce Rodeo, which is east of town, east of Edmonton. And being that you're a good old Alberta boy, I wonder, have you ever been to the Bruce Hotel for steak night?
I don't think I have been to the Bruce Hotel for steak night. No,
Okay.
That's one thing. That's one place I haven't been.
When you're out in Bruce next time at the Bruce Rodeo, or if you're in your travels through, make sure you stop in at the Bruce Hotel for steak night. It is wonderful. It's a treasure.
Really? Yeah, that's good to know. I will always sniff out a good steak. So
there you go. Hey, I got a question for you. I said this earlier to Reid. Movie stars often want to be rock stars, and NBA superstars want to be rappers. You always, are looking for something else that's in your discipline that you can be the star at. You're a saddle bronc champion. What other discipline, or if you could choose one other discipline in rodeo that you'd want to become a champion at, what discipline would that be?
Oh, like one other event in rodeo?
Yeah.
Boy, that's a tough one. Yeah, I rode some bulls in high school and stuff like that, and my brother rides bulls, but that's just so hard on your body. I don't even think I'd want to go down that road either. I don't know. I think I'll just stick with riding broncs. It's kind of the best of both worlds. When it goes good, it doesn't hurt, and you still get just a big of adrenaline rush. At least I do, as I did getting on bulls.
Okay, well, that leads me into the next question. Are you at liberty? Are you willing to share the worst injury you've ever suffered riding a bronc?
Yeah, the worst one I've ever had riding broncs. Shoot, I don't know what necessarily the worst one is. I spiral broke both bones in my leg when I was 16 or 17. Yeah, I've had a pretty long list of injuries, but it's been I haven't had anything too serious, knock on wood.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, it's the horse doesn't care where you are. I've noticed from observing once you're on the ground. So
yeah, that's right.
I'm going to throw this one at you. I mean, there's some sports. There's a certain body type, or in football, there might be a body type for a certain position. Is there a body type that suits itself more to saddle bronc, whether it's your height or the width of your shoulders or how strong you're, something like that? Is there a body type that generally fits for saddle bronc?
Oh, I would say for sure that being the right size is a benefit in the bronc riding game compared to, if you're anywhere from that, 5'8" to 5'10", 11 sort of thing, compared to a guy that's 6'2" or 3 trying to do it. There's been some really great bronc riders that have been over 6 feet tall and taller, but I think it's probably a little harder for them than it is for a smaller guy, just to probably learn it more than anything.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you another one here, Layton. I hope you don't mind being asked this, but you've probably been asked it before. And I mentioned my time in Lloydminster. I also covered a lot of chuck wagon racing. That sport gets, unfortunately, in my mind, criticized a lot. I know sometimes there's a wreck or a horse might have to be euthanized, which I know is really sad. And rodeo comes under fire sometimes too, which I think is unfair because I know how much the cowboys and the people who own the animals care for and about those animals. How do you respond if people criticize rodeo as being inhumane or mean to the animals or stuff like that?
People that respond to it that way just really have no idea. If they ever went, if they went home with that bucking horse and spent a week on that ranch and went to 2 or 3 rodeos that horse got bucked at and actually hung around and learned how much care these horses get and that they actually love what they're doing. They're bred to do that. And, that would change, I would say, 99% of those people's opinions. If they spent 1 week out on the ranch and went to a couple rodeos with that bucking horse and just got to see everything firsthand, see everything that's used, it would get rid of all the ideas that people come up with that aren't true.
Yeah, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'll kind of tee up for this. I would think you as a cowboy want the bucking horse in prime condition, because you want to be tested and you want the best score you can get if you make the 8 seconds.
Yeah, 100%. You want your horse feeling as good as they can possibly feel, because that's half your score. It's just like us. If that horse isn't taken care of, 100%, a belly full of feed and, in great condition and shape, they're athletes just like we are. So in order for them to perform, you want them at the top of their game, just like we want to be at the top of our game. In order to win first, you gotta have a horse that's performing at the top of their abilities. So there's a lot that goes into it.
All right, and I think one thing that goes into it, I mean, as I'm sure you can guess, Layton, I work in Edmonton, so I talk a lot of hockey and I talk a lot of football. But I know that there's a lot of video study in those sports. How far in advance of like tonight's performance do you know what Bronc you're getting, and how do you prepare a scouting report? I mean, that's basically what you have, right, on whoever you're riding that night.
So we found out last night. The draw is probably done at about 11:30 or midnight, I would say. The draw usually gets done, and our director will send it out to us, and you can kind of see what horse you drew. And then most of us know all the horses. It's not like they just show up for 1 or 2 times and then they're done. These horses will be, some of them been around for, bucking for 10 years. And so those horses, really good. And if you've never been on the horse before, you can talk to some of the other guys that have probably been on that horse, and they'll kind of give you the ins and outs on them, and, how much rein you want to give them, which is, we measure our Bronc rein for how low or high they carry their head for us to lift on in a balance point as we're riding.
Is there a difference between different ranches that are producing these bucking horses, from the Stampede Ranch to the Vold Ranch to the Kessler Ranch to, is there tendencies that come out of each of these ranches, or are they all, trying to, maintain a level, I guess, of consistency throughout all of them, or can you identify them from the ranch they come from?
It's pretty hard to identify them from the ranch they come from. They all got their different breeding lines and stuff like that. But I think the end goal for every one of those stock contractors is the exact same thing. They're all raising these bucking horses and trying to raise a world champion saddle bronc horse. And, they might go about it a little differently, putting in groundwork and stuff like that when these horses are young, whether it's, lots of these Calgary horses, they get a couple of days where they halter break all these horses as colts and work with them and, get them shoot broke and stuff like that, just to prevent injury on the horses, So when you do run them in for the shoot for the first time, they kind of know what's going on. They've been handled. They're not freaking out in there. So you can kind of keep them a little calmer and keep them a little more under control until they figure out exactly what's going on. And I think it prevents a lot of injury and stuff like that. And they will dummy buck those horses too, 3 or 4 times, where they just put, they call it a dummy. It's got a cinch on it and it's got a remote, and they'll turn them out of the chute with that and let them buck for 3 or 4 jumps and then click that button and it trips everything off of them. So, it makes them feel like, I won, sort of thing. And, it kind of, you can kind of see how them colts are going to be. It gives you some hope in what they might buck like as a 4 or 5-year-old when you can see them as a 2-year-old. And it's good for them. They learn how to keep their feet underneath of them and stay on top of their feet as they're trying to learn how to be a bucking horse, really.
Layton, this has been great. How old are you, by the way?
30.
30. Okay, so you've been doing this for a while, and I'm sure you got several more years left in you. 2 more quick ones for you. This one actually might be the most controversial one. You're kind of from Central Alberta. Oilers or Flames?
Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna have to go with Oilers, even though I moved to Southern Alberta now. But
okay.
I don't know. When I do watch hockey, it's usually, if I got to pick a team, I'm probably cheering for the Oilers.
Okay. All right. So you're up again tonight, and then is tomorrow the Canadian champion crowned?
Be tomorrow night. So we ride tonight, and then we ride tomorrow afternoon, and then tomorrow night. And tomorrow night, the Canadian champions will be crowned.
All right. Well, Layton, this was a great interview. You're a great representative of the sport. Thanks for sharing your story and giving some inside perspective on saddle bronc and rodeo. All the best. Enjoy the next couple of days here in Edmonton.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Layton Green checking in. So he was the Canadian champ in 2017. And I mean, reading about him and his career winnings and other accomplishments, he's one of the top guys in the world for about the last decade in saddle bronc. So I really enjoyed talking to him. Really well spoken, good insight. And as we talked about the other day, and I'm glad you asked him, because I was saying I think they travel around, and then you asked him about that, and they confirmed, yeah, you can hit 2 or 3 rodeos
100
in a
rodeos
weekend.
over a summer. But
Yeah,
that is incredible.
And
right?
again, you could drive 200K and get on there and get bucked off after a second, and there's no prize money for that. It's just cost you the gas. So
well, and I wanted to say thank you to Sarah from Explore Edmonton, who was hooked up by my former best friend Quinn Phillips, who we will not talk about anymore on the show today. Thank you, Sarah from Explore Edmonton, for hooking that up. That was great.
Yeah, he was really well spoken.
Really well.
Really enjoyed talking. Yeah. And then there's a lot on the line of the Canadian finals, but then those national finals in Vegas too. That's where you can.
Well, and I think he's now residing down in that Millerville area, which if you have never been through there, that is God's country.
Right.
It is beautiful down there.
Yeah. So he was good. And I'm glad we got a rodeo guest on. Again, I used to kind of be a little bit more in that world of rodeo and chuck wagon races, which are separate.
Oh, big time.
I know that's one thing I learned very quickly when I started in Lloyd. Chuck wagon is not a rodeo event. Chuck wagon it's
a PRCA
event. Sometimes there might be a weekend or a fair or whatever where there's a rodeo and chuck wagon races, but chuck wagon is
they coincide. They work well together.
Yeah, and I really, and I know some people probably rolled their eyes or maybe even didn't like that I asked that about the protests there are of rodeo and chuck wagon racing, and to some extent I get it, especially in chuck wagon racing when there's a wreck. It's ugly. I mean, it's like a car crash. A horse might die in the wreck or have to be euthanized. Bud McEwen, a Lloydminster driver, died in the late 90s at the Stampede. His son, Larry McEwen, was one of the top drivers in the Canadian Chuck Wagon Association. But I still would want to stress these are not tortured animals being forced to do things.
Well, and the way he answered it was one I've not heard, but he is true. If you went and saw a day in the life or a week in the life of these horses that are in the rodeos, they are very, very well taken care of, and it's in everybody's best interest for them to be at their best.
Yes,
to be performing their best, to not be injured. So yeah, it's unfortunately from people that don't have a hot clue what they're talking about that will make the most noise. But unfortunately,
if you don't like it or you don't find it entertaining or you're not uncomfortable,
don't watch it.
Don't
watch it.
You,
don't pay for it.
But I do think there are some criticisms that are excessive and sometimes downright ignorant. To be fair,
I think ignorant would be the term. I mean,
I know I'm probably irritating some people with that, but I respect other people's opinions. So I'm allowed to have one as well.
That's why you are you and I am I.
All right. Anyway, great interview. Interview with Layton Green, saddle bronc rider. You'll see him and many other great competitors at the Canadian Finals Rodeo, as he said, tonight, and then there's performances tomorrow afternoon and Saturday evening. We're an hour into the show here at South Fort Chevy. Say hi if you're dropping by and buying a vehicle or two. They got some great deals going on. We'll have more on the Oilers, more on the Elks. We'll dive into the world of the Canucks, as that's who the Oilers play tonight, and my top 3 for food sausage, all ahead. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com. rvstorage.com. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
The Oilers play their last preseason game tonight against the Canucks at 8. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas live at 7 o'clock only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Other games have the Flames and the Jets, the Senators battling the Red Wings, and the Islanders playing the Rangers. Earlier it was the Devils beating the Sabres 4-1 in Czechia for the lone regular season game on tap. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away indefinitely. Campbell was bought up by the Oilers this summer, signing with the Red Wings during the offseason. In the CFL, the Blue Bombers do get out against the Ticats while the Stamps hit the turf with the Lions. Tomorrow, the Elks battle the Riders in Commonwealth Stadium at 5 o'clock, and you can join Matthew Wanick and Jay Milne for the Green and Gold kickoff show live just an hour before the action at 4. NFL injuries see Zamir White and Devontae Adams out for the Raiders. Romeo Dobbs of the Packers is questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku questionable with the chance to play for the Browns. And Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. Right now, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Das Pretzel House. All right. We're at South Fort Chev in Fort Saskatchewan on location. This is now, we've worked together 5 weeks doing this show. 4th time on location already. Pretty cool.
I think it is cool. I like on location. It's fun.
708-218-9999 to text the EST inbox. Email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. Jump into the nasty chat. Bonus points to the listener who mentioned the film Anaconda in the nasty chat. Jennifer Lopez, John Voight, Eric Stoltz from the late 90s. I saw that in the theater with my buddy Aaron. My buddy Aaron and I went to see Dark Match last night.
Yes, let's get into this.
At the Edmonton International Film Festival. But first of all, as well, you heard the story about Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, you wished him the best. I don't know the details of that. They usually don't announce a lot of stuff, but I know the story with Campbell was, he struggled with confidence and things like that. He mentioned battling that while he was an Oiler, and then obviously got sent down to Bakersfield. So we wish him the best as he enters the player assistance program. So Dark Match, Chris Jericho was in it, by the way. It was fun.
Okay, give us a
It was 90 minutes. It was basically there's a wrestling organization, and they get a contract to do a night of wrestling at this sort of remote location. And it turns out that the people who have invited them to stage this event have sinister motives. And it turns out the wrestling matches are full contact and to the death. And then there could be some sort of demonic summoning involved. I'll just leave it at that. It was done the way it should be. It got to the point. It gave you some action. It gave you some wrestling. If you're into horror movie, it gave you a little bit of gore and kills, and it gave you a kind of a fun resolution.
So would you say it was a comedy? Like a satirical comedy?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it wasn't saying like, "Oh, we're actually trying to scare you." No, it was. Yeah, it was.
The point was to be so bad it was good, maybe.
Well,
or was it a serious
B movie? No, it was still. It was it was well made. It was well shot. It was well edited. All that kind of stuff.
Okay,
but it wasn't totally a spoof,
right?
But there were elements of that in it too. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and it also aired on Saturday night. Their screen, so we saw the second screening.
Oh wow!
And it was still quite full, even the second time.
And this was at the Princess?
No, it was at City Center.
Oh, City Center. I thought
so.
It was
City Center has the Hollywood films that are showing, but then a couple screens are for the Edmonton International Film Festival.
Yes.
And my buddy Christian Zip is a part of that as well. Did you meet? No, you didn't meet Zip.
I did not.
You will meet Zip, but Zip's the wheelchair rugby competitor as well.
Oh,
that was in the tournament we promoted a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, that was at Sit and Sleep, and he sent in the video. Talk about gory. Them beating each other to a pulp in their wheelchairs.
There is again, speaking of sort of sports documentaries, I can't remember if I saw it. It's probably about 20 years old. There's a documentary called Murder Ball about wheelchair rugby. Yes, that's considered one of the best sports docs of all time.
Okay,
I think I might have rented it, but it's been a while. Anyway,
I just have to make note of that we are here on location at South Fort Chevrolet. Your drive is their passion. And look here, we've got members of the Fort Sask AAA U17 team. That is the South Fort Chevrolet Rangers right here in our very presence. There is a slap shot machine out there where you can see who's got the fastest slap shot. Dustin said he was over 100. I actually
Dustin Nielsen was not over 100. 100
maybe on the highway when he drove that test drove that Corvette
per second, maybe.
He was over 100 when he test drove that Corvette.
I mean, most NHL players do not shoot at 100 miles per hour. So Dustin Nielsen did not.
He must have been reading it wrong. And also the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Saskatchewan is on site and has been on site all day. They're accepting donations for the youth sports program. They need snacks for the kids to be fed when they are at these programs. And please, if you are in the area or you are on your way home, come by, have a pretzel.
Yeah, they're good.
A brat, a beverage, Coca-Cola, bubbly. I must say, I'm going to go off on a tangent.
Okay. I'll have some pretzel.
I've never seen a coffee machine like they have here at South Fort Chevrolet.
Oh, I was trying to maybe think about getting a coffee. I didn't know where to begin.
My gosh. So we're an espresso household. And this is an espresso on steroids. It would be the same size as, say, your stovetop, and it's a disc, and you put it in, and you can choose anything. I made myself a latte.
Oh, you made one? I didn't have the stones to try to make one.
That looks pretty good, and it tastes lovely. I'll make you one. I can make you one. And they make iced coffees. Daniel here, the sales manager, just was raving about it. He says their coffee budget has went up like 3 times. Because they have to refill the milk, fresh milk. Like, oh, neat! It's got canisters of all these different ingredients, so you can really dial it in. And I'm probably not going to sleep tonight because I think I've had 4 coffees today, so might be a late night.
Well, luckily but
it's a good night to be late night because that game doesn't start till 8:00.
Yeah, we can watch the game. Are you going to watch this one?
It's on TV, Reid.
That's it's
Jay's
the final
rules.
Preseason game.
If
so
it's
now
on
you're
TV,
actually
I'll watch
interested
it.
in the preseason.
You wait. I'm going to be hitting Twitter up all night. Just
tweeting
wrong. Who's this guy?
Just tweeting about Everson. All right. So again, the notes for the game tonight is the lines as you would expect, especially the top 9: McDavid, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins. Good line. Draisaitl, Arvidsson, Skinner.
Heard of them.
Henrique, Janmark, and Brown. Philp, Podkolzin, and Perry. Derek Ryan is day-to-day. I'll pause if you want to jump in there. No?
What do I have to say? You're the guy that's been the Philp whisperer all camp. You said from the start
you're giving me too much.
That Noah Philp has impressed you.
Yes.
And your rationale behind using the word as impression or impress is that he's around the puck.
Yes.
He's there. He's engaged in the play, and you thought he has been doing that well all camp. It looks like this is this could be a player that's making this roster.
Well, this says to me, now it sounds like Brian's boo-boo, starting on there, called his ailment a couple of weeks ago, is not serious. But if Philp goes out there and plays really well tonight against the Canucks lineup that should be very good,
it's the Canucks starting lineup.
Then, okay.
As Joaquin Gage said.
Yeah, so I don't know. Now, so Kajula's not playing. And then on the back end, Ekholm and Bouchard, Nurse and Emerson, finally. Kulak and Stetcher. So that means Dermott and Brown aren't playing. So does this mean that spot is still undecided and Stetcher's getting the look tonight? Does this mean, no, Stetcher's our guy. It's his spot to lose, so he's going to play. Does this mean Brown's going to be the 7th D-man? Does this mean Dermott might still get signed, or does this mean he doesn't get signed? I wonder, and I'm just speculating. I wonder if, okay, I'll ask this too. Would it make sense if Dermott gets signed and sent down to Bakersfield to keep playing? So he'd get the minimum deal, sent down to play. Stetcher plays as the 6, Brown is your 7, and then you still see how it sorts itself out.
I guess. Reluctantly, yes. I don't know. I don't know. I think this is Stetcher's job to lose.
Well, if he looks fine tonight, then I think he's there on opening day. But as you know, and everybody knows, we put so much into the opening day roster and the line combinations, and they could change by halfway through the first period, and then there could be call-ups or set-downs or alterations for game 2. But as we said, Brown's been underwhelming. I kind of reject the notion he's been as terrible as some people are saying, but I don't think he's inspired a lot of confidence for that position. What did I say? Stetcher's a gamer. He's not a big guy, but he'll go out there and get involved. Yep. So, maybe if it's 15 minutes a night, then maybe he can do that. He can throw his body around enough and move the puck enough that he's not a liability. And then, again, Dermott, I actually think has been fine in the preseason. To me, he's earned a deal, a league minimum deal. Why not? 1 year, 2-way. Why not?
Why not? See what it becomes. I don't know if there's been enough of a clear picture for Dermott. I think Brown, there has been. And I think like what you said, Stetcher's a gamer. Put him in. And it will be exciting to see that tonight, because this is the lineup that I think Oilers fans projected and have been wanting to see.
Except Philp bid for Ryan.
Philp, I know, but Philp's one of those feel-good stories that came out of the blue.
Well, and
this was something that was expected on the defensive side, and now they get to see it against. I mean, this is 1v1s tonight, essentially.
Yep.
So
and good rivalry. That's especially from last year, but it's been a rivalry for a while.
Maybe I'll have another coffee so I can stay up.
So Skinner in net, Rodrigue backing up. So Pickard is still not, I guess, totally ready to go. So that's another kind of thing to keep an eye on as well. Which leads me to my top 3 for food sausages. The best sausages you will ever eat, locally made, packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. 10% off your order by entering the online code EST, or just mention EST in store. Like, walk into the store, yell out Edmonton Sports Talk, 10% off. Also, free delivery in Edmonton on orders over $100. As Food Sauces says, you can't beat our meat. This one's kind of a weird one, and I'm going to put it out there to the Nasties to guess number 1 on this list. This is not an opinion one. This is a factual one for fun, to remember some names. Top 3 Oilers goaltenders who appeared in an NHL game but played the fewest number of total minutes in their Oilers careers. So here's my quiz to the Nasties. Which Oilers goaltender played in a game but played the fewest number of minutes total for the team? It's actually not as hard as it sounds.
All right, chime in. Get in
do you
here.
Know who it is?
Nasty Chat. Not a hot clue.
You do, actually.
Is it our colleague?
No, it's not Gager. Gager's played way more than most of these guys.
Oh, so it's not okay.
You actually have something in common with this guy. But if I say the hint, it'll give it away.
Okay, well, let's see what they.
But you can't think of what it is.
I'm terrible at this stuff.
Well, I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but I like being quizzed sometimes.
Okay, so give me a little clue.
Oh, it's happened within the last 3 years that this guy appeared.
An Oilers goaltender.
And he's appeared of all the Oilers goaltenders who have ever played.
Is it the U of A Bears goalie?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Matt Berlin.
Hey,
I
got it.
2 minutes.
I didn't get the name, but I knew it.
So it's Matt Berlin. Did anybody write it in yet?
Yeah.
Daryl Ray was, who got it?
No,
that's one of our own guys.
That's Zach.
Zach, come on.
I can't play along.
It's Matt Berlin.
What was that, Zach?
I can't play along.
Sure you can.
But we want people to participate and feel like they're earning our love and respect. Brizgalov, no, he played way more than that. LeBrossois played more than that. Berlin counts. I mean, he was an Oilers goalie for that game. A couple other guys. There's a top 4 for this, technically. Steve Valaket played 14 minutes in 2004. Valaket went on to become a Rangers broadcaster with MSG.
Really?
Yeah. Then 2 guys played exactly 20 minutes. Mike Greenlay, but he did it over 2 games. So he didn't play a period. He played 20 minutes over 2 games. Greenlay went on to become a broadcaster with the Wild. I think he did that until 3 or 4 years ago. And then the other guy was I don't know if you remember this. I don't know how closely you were following the team then. I interviewed him. This was in 2015. He was a pretty high prospect for the Oilers for a while. WHL goalie of the year with Medicine Hat. Played exactly 20 minutes. And then with Oklahoma City, he got some kind of a skate cut that kind of derailed his career a little bit. Somebody will remember this. Who am I talking about from 2015 that played exactly 1 period in Los Angeles? Didn't have a great period. He might even be listening, actually. So I'm sometimes in touch with this guy. Somebody remember who it was. 780-218-9999 or jump into the nasty chat. I don't even know if you'll remember, Jay.
See if there's any guesses
texts coming in for this other one. It's probably all Matt Berlin.
Yeah, Matt Berlin, E-Bug. That Alberta goalie, Golden Bears goalie. I don't know his name. Hello, it was the U of A goalie. The Wolf got it. Matthew Berlin.
Yeah.
Oh, number 1 Gager.
No, Nick Gager's nowhere near that. I love going to a Bears game last year, and I was tweeting out former Oilers goaltender Matt Berlin.
Okay, give some more clues on this other one. Is it this?
Yeah. Is it Khalid?
Yeah.
He got it. Yeah.
Tyler Bunce. Okay.
So Khalid gets a warm look from me if you're on YouTube.
And from me.
Yeah. If you're not on YouTube, just imagine us looking incredibly sexy. So
those are supposed to look sexy?
Those are my top 3
Not my warm
for food
look.
sausage.
My warm look is awkward.
Oilers goaltenders who played the fewest number of minutes as an Oiler. I'll read off some other names just for fun. Marco Barron played 32 minutes. Wayne Cowley played 57. Bob Dupuis, who I do not remember, played 59. Warren Skorodensky, Randy Exelby, Lindsay Middlebrook, and Mike Menard all played 60 minutes. Jan Denis, I covered him, played 142. Martin Gerber, I covered him, played 185. They're like 13th and 14th. Gager played way more. Gager played 1,076 minutes, 32nd least. So he's well up the list as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. It's fun.
32nd.
Well, I think it's fun. Maybe other people.
Imagine if Gager would pull that stat out. Just, hey, you guys want to hear a crazy stat about me? I'm 32nd least in ice time minutes for the Oilers.
Okay, here's a quiz. Which Oilers goaltender do you think has played the most minutes for the team?
The most minutes for the team?
Yeah.
Well, this comes down to tenure. Who's been a goaltender for the Oilers for the longest time? Well, let's open this one up too.
It's too bad we don't have prizes. People are going to think they're win something. No, you just
come here and get a pretzel. That's the prize. That's a good prize.
All right, we'll circle back to that. We have Alex Orr, coach of the Yes, I am eating a pretzel if it sounds like there's something in my mouth. First, though, we got a sports update with the Coob for Wheelers RV.
Stuart Skinner gets a call for the Oilers' final preseason game against the Canucks at 8 o'clock. Join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Elsewhere, it's the Flames and the Jets, the Senators battling the Red Wings, and the Islanders playing the Rangers. Earlier today, it was the Devils winning the opening Global Series game 4-1 against the Sabres for the lone regular season match. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away indefinitely. Campbell was bought out by the Oilers this past offseason, signing with the Red Wings. In the CFL, the Blue Bombers duke it out against the Ticats while the Stamps hit the turf with the Lions. Tomorrow, the Elks battle the Riders in Commonwealth Stadium at 5 o'clock, and you could join Matthew Wanick and Jay Milne for the Green and Gold kickoff show live at 4, just an hour before the action. NFL injuries see Zamir White and Devontae Adams out for the Raiders. Romeo Dobbs of the Packers as questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku questionable with the chance to play for the Browns. And Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. Right after the break, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues. I'm Zachary Kubish. Almost forgetting the update once again. My. Mark that for a goof up. This sports update has been brought to you by Wheeler's RV Storage. Conveniently located 5 minutes east of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV is your safe and secure place to store your RV, boat, or whatever it is you want to store. Visit them at wheelersrvstorage.com to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get one free. Go to wheelersrvstorage.com today to get your storage needs taken care of. And right now we head to break. We'll be back with the Reid Wilkins Show.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton, 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally, not Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups, from farm tractors to school buses to a big rig, from diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Thinking of you's working up my app.
All right, thanks for joining us this afternoon. A for fun trivia question. Which Oilers goalie, so only while he was an Oiler, played the most minutes for the team? And it's Bill Ranford. Fewer second. So most people guessed Fewer and Moog.
Yeah.
But a couple people got Ranford.
Ranford.
Salo was third. Cam Talbot fourth. And then Andy Moog. How about that? Cam Talbot played more minutes than Andy Moog. Rolison sixth. Cujo seventh. Then Dubnyk, Koskinen, and Skinner is now 10th and could very well be 8th by the end of the season, judging by those minutes.
Yeah, he'll definitely move up.
Yeah, definitely move up a couple spots. Anyway, we got a special guest joining us. Jared Stang is the assistant coach for the South Fort Chev Rangers U17 AAA team. Did I get that right?
Yeah, U17 AAA.
U17 AAA. So remind me and some of our listeners of how they do the age ranges now and the league that you guys are in and what other, okay, I know I'm not supposed to say what other midget leagues there are.
Yeah.
Because for a while there was major midget and then like a U16 or U15 midget. How did that all work?
Yeah. So, well, obviously most people are used to like Atom, Pee Wee, Bantam, midget. So now it'd just be like Bantam is U15 and then midget is U18. They used to have REM 15, which was all first year midget players, and then that would be 15 AAA, and then they would have to jump to U18 AAA. So to eliminate the gap year, they moved it up. Now it's just U17 AAA, so first and second years, and then U18 AAA is for everybody else.
Okay, so this is still very elite hockey, obviously. So is this a provincial-wide league you're in, province-wide league?
Yeah, the AEHL is all throughout the province. Like, I know we have trips down to Okotoks, up in Grand Prairie, Lloydminster. Like, we're all over the province. There are a couple other leagues, like the academy leagues, like the CSSHL. So it's the same division, just in a different rival league, but we might cross paths with them in prospect tournaments or whatever.
Okay, so the kids that are on your team, and then you mentioned there's the U18 as well. Are they still maybe going dub? Are they going AJ? Are they hoping to go NCAA or even U Sports? Or is it maybe I'm throwing out every possibility?
I mean, you pretty much nailed it. They could go anywhere. I mean, I know for sure we have one player on our team who is a draft pick to the Lethbridge Hurricanes already. So he's a first year, and he's hoping to develop, I suppose, in the next year or two, and hopefully go on to the WHL. But there's so many options open, right? Since the BCHL took over Sherwood Park and Brooks and all those teams, AJHL is still expanding, right? They added a team in Devon. And recently, a WHL player committed to an NCAA school, which is really new. So
that's starting as well. All right. So, but it may be a stupid question. Would NHL scouts come to your games?
I wouldn't think NHL.
Not quite
yet. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think they'd be going to those other major sites.
They would go, but there's.
Yeah.
You could be coaching a kid who's someday an Oiler or whoever.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah.
Like to look back and say that.
What's the schedule like for these young men and their families? Because you got to be pretty committed to play this level of hockey.
Yeah, it's pretty extensive. I mean, we have 20 players that have to make it, and because we're a smaller center, we draw from all sorts of different communities. Like Fort McMurray players, when they want to play AAA, there's no AAA up there, so they have to come down and play here. That's our draw zone. And we have players from all over, right? We have Barhead, Fort McMurray, a couple from Lloydminster. They all come in, and a bunch are driving. So we go Tuesday practice, Wednesday practice, Thursday practice in Dryland, mix in a video session or two here and there, and then depending on the weekend, it could be a tournament with 4 or 5 games, could be a couple of home games, couple of away games, home and away, right? So it's quite extensive. Practices up to an hour and a half, 2 hours. They got a lot on their plate.
Wow.
Jared Stang here, assistant coach?
Yeah, assistant
coach with the U17 AAA South Fort Rangers. Now, everybody's looking at this and wondering, wow, it's finally somebody that's good looking on this show, and we want to know more about him. So tell us the genesis of where you came from, where your hockey career took you, and why you decided to get into coaching.
I'm from Edson, Alberta, another small town. I mean, I played hockey growing up all the way through, played in Edson, and then when I finished it, put my midget at the time years, I moved to Grand Forks, BC, and I played in the KIJHL. And then I've just been injury prone my whole life. So I had a couple of shoulder injuries. I quit and moved back home, went to school. And then I was playing senior here and there. I played a few years for the Edson Ice, which is senior. It was senior A at the time. Now it's senior. They're folded. I went and played for Devon. It's senior double A, and that's pretty competitive league nowadays.
And as far as the coaching part of it, is it something that you feel like you could help these kids in development or help them in life off the ice as well, or is it a combination of both as to why you decided to, because you're giving up an incredible amount of your own time, right, to do this, and good for you, good on you for doing that. But what drew you into coaching?
I mean, I played, like I said, one of the first pictures of me is when I'm like 1 or 2 years old, crying on the ice with my skates on, right? So this is all I've ever really known. And then once you're not playing anymore, because I'm like busy with work and stuff, it just feels like all that goes nowhere. And I'd like to pass that down. And I don't know, I'd like to say my favorite quote from School of Rock, those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach, teach Jim.
Well, there you go. So, how's the squad looking? Is this a championship team? Is this a team that's hoping to make the playoffs, or is this a development year?
Oh, no, it's never a development year.
Okay.
We want success. All the boys want success.
Yeah.
They only get 1 or 2 years here, so they want to make the most of it.
You mentioned the practice schedule and also the video, and I just asked a rodeo saddle bronc rider about watching video too, but I love that part of it. So, I mean, you played junior and you've been around hockey all your life, but now this age group, the ability they have to watch video and develop that hockey IQ outside of practice. I mean, that must have, even over the last couple of decades, that's probably grown in leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have video sessions. I mean, probably should have. Is probably for worse on my part, definitely. But yeah, just being able to, instead of somebody barking at you, telling you about the mistakes you made, it's easier to see the mistakes you made, and then it's not necessarily just word of mouth. You can actually see it, you can act on it, and then in the future you can kind of change habits or change your style of play if you need to. There's just a lot of benefits, right? Or seeing other teams doing different things or preparing, right? Like we know we have CAC coming here tomorrow, so trying to get film on them and see what we're going to need to do to break up their pressures and whatnot.
Do you go? How many teams in this league again?
There's quite a few. I
But
don't
Lloyd
know.
doesn't have a team though, eh? You mentioned the Lloyd kid's got to come in.
One kid, I think he moved here.
Oh, he
from
moved
Lloyd,
here.
but
Okay, sorry. 'Cause
all walks
I
of
used to work there, so they probably do have a team.
Yeah.
Who's your chief rival?
Well, I guess yet to be seen.
Okay.
I would assume probably Sherwood Park. They're always a really tough squad. We have a couple of guys who are from the St. Albert area who didn't work out for them there. So hopefully we can get some payback.
All right.
I got to ask you, because there was a fella sitting in this very seat earlier today from the morning show. Then he came back on and did the lock shop. His name is Dustin Nielsen. He is the brains behind EST and our fearless leader.
Mm-hmm.
He decided that the car he wanted to take off the lot today and take for a test spin was a brand new 2024 Corvette.
Oh.
If you could choose one car in this Chevy dealership just to take and bag the you-know-what out of, what would it be?
I mean, I'd probably have to go with the Corvette as well, It's
Corvette.
Got everything you want. If I could choose, probably.
You know what? The funny thing is, though, it was the we're going to whisper here because Claire's right here. It was the general manager's car, and I think they took it on gravel.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
So I don't think he's listening right now, but hopefully, none of this will ever get back to him.
No, it's not on the internet.
No. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, you guys are doing a great job out there.
Yeah, what you got going on out here? You got a barbecue and a slap shot comp?
Yeah, they're slumming.
There's what? The whole team's trying to, all 20 players.
Boy.
This
Amazing.
is exciting.
Yeah, they're, taking slap shots. I think they're supposed to be letting other people do it too, but they can kind of just monopolize the area.
That's okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them out there. I was thinking they were going to get put to work, but they're just hanging out. It looks
There's a lot of cars to watch here.
Some sales on the side.
Yeah.
Hey, they wouldn't let me do sales earlier. I really wanted to. I wanted to get involved. But
all right. So when and where's your game tomorrow?
We play tomorrow at, I believe, 3:30 or 4:30 here at the JRC.
Okay. Thanks for dropping by. We'll
Yeah.
do the line change on the fly here. Was this him?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll mute him so he can get it while we're
Okay.
still on. Thanks for dropping by, Jared. Jared Stang,
Thanks,
assistant
Jared.
coach for the South Fort
Right on.
Chevy AAA U17 Rangers. Good to have him on the show. I like talking. I mean, we're going to try to do that, and we've talked about that because we've had an Oil King on, and we'll do Bear stuff. We mentioned we had the rugby. We want to do stuff like that. We want to do other stuff going on in Edmonton and area, because I think amateur sports and minor sports have a lot of good stories and a lot of success stories and a lot of people that work very hard. So along those lines, you can email, and I'm serious about this, because on Inside Sports, we got some really good listener submissions. Read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com if you have a team or an athlete that you think should be profiled or would be a good interview. Now, we will check into
course.
it. I will remind people that literally hundreds of teams win provincials every year. So because your niece's team won provincials doesn't necessarily, but there are some, I remember several years ago, I did this great interview with like an 11-year-old female boxer from a small town, and she came on with her dad and was just incredible, and so stuff like that, stuff like this with the U17 Rangers. If you got a pitch, write my email down, read at edmontonsportstalk.com, put it in your phone. Maybe one day you think, wonder if Reid and Jay would like this. And
we did have a listener sent in a limerick
that we will
actually
read later.
2 limericks that we'll get to later.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm doing my limericks today. At some point.
Well, hello, Grumpy Cat.
Oh.
Oh my! I don't know if I.
What is this? Did you win something?
He said, "Hang on, come in, get in."
What
here.
did I?
This Grumpy Cat here. Come here. Come on in.
Did you write in today, Grumpy Cat? Did you know Matt Berlin?
No, I guessed Gager.
Oh, Gager's played a ton of minutes.
So what is this?
Well, what's his name? Dustin this morning was asking who could bring the weirdest thing into the show today.
Okay.
So I brought you guys a trophy.
Where did you? Is there a story behind this trophy?
It's from Valley Village on my way over here.
Oh, you just bought it. I thought maybe you found it on the side of the road.
I think it's missing a piece.
You should
But
put
if
something.
you needed a prize to give somebody.
Can you give the receipt and I'll give it to Dustin?
I didn't keep the receipt.
Oh, all right.
Well,
we'll display this. We'll put it up
every
day on our
show. It's
We'll
going to
have
be
it
sitting in
somewhere.
the front. Yeah, and we're gonna get some tape and just put what is the title of this award. I mean, obviously it's an ST, but what would you say category?
I think the component that's missing is that the Nielsen show is lucky that you guys were not a part of the broadcasting for.
Wow.
Or not the broadcasting, but you guys weren't qualified for the voting.
Okay, so we're gonna put. Okay, so we weren't. Okay, we'll put it on there in white tape.
Best show that had been on for 6 days at the time of the STs.
That's right.
That's what we would have won. All right, Grumpy Cat, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you again.
Thanks for dropping. Was this out of your way to come here?
Well, I have a friend that I work with who never goes out after work, and he lives in the fort. So I came out here to see you guys. I'm going to go make a donation to the.
The Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to go to his place and say hi.
What's the address? We'll come over after.
I don't actually know what it is, but I'll text you.
He knows how to get. Are you watching the game tonight?
Probably not.
Like, am I the only one that's interested in the preseason?
I don't have cable.
Other media guys are.
I don't have cable, but I do have Oilers Plus, and I tried watching last night. But when I clicked watch now, it just kept taking me to the last oil drop thing, so I gave up.
Oh, that's weird. I was able to get off. I'll talk to Tony Brower.
So I don't know what happened, but I tried.
Where's
to watch
Normology? I thought you guys are attached to the hip.
His kids have ringette or something tonight.
Okay. Well,
so
grab a pretzel out there.
Yeah.
Grab a bratwurst. Grab the Rangers, the South Fort Chev Rangers, the AAA
You
7
think I'm going to
U17.
go try to take a slap shot in front of 20 kids?
Yes.
No.
Oh, it'd be great.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
I
This
came in the side door so that they wouldn't, they're scary.
Thank you for coming. And
Well,
thank
this
you
is
for
an
the
honor.
random
Thank you
trophy.
very much. This means a lot. This
very
will get
surprising. Quite an honor.
Proudly
And
displayed.
we're going to have Matt Sekeres from Sekeres and Price to talk a little bit about the Canucks. Hernan's going to jump on a little bit later to tee up tonight's oil streams. We still have buying or selling and some Elks chat. Here comes a sports update with the Coupe.
Stuart Skinner gets a call in net for the Oilers' final preseason game against the Canucks at 8 o'clock. Join Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, and Joaquin Gage for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live at 7 o'clock, right on Edmonton Sports Talk. Elsewhere, it's the Flames and the Jets. The Senators battling the Red Wings and the Islanders playing the Rangers. Earlier, we saw the Devils win 4-1 against the Sabres for the lone regular season game on tap. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away indefinitely. Campbell was bought out by the Oilers, signing with the Red Wings this offseason. In the CFL, the Blue Bombers duke it out against the Ticats, while the Stamps hit the turf against the Lions. Tomorrow, the Elks battle the Riders in Commonwealth Stadium at 5 o'clock, and you could join Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne for the Green and Gold kickoff show live at 4 o'clock, just an hour before the action. NFL injuries see Zamir White and Devontae Adams out for the Raiders. Romeo Dobbs of the Packers as questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku questionable with the chance to play for the Browns. And Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. Right after the break, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Millen continues. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
It's crunch time for your taste buds, because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips, combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in all its teen burger glory, or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, Crunch Burger, for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
My goodness, Friday afternoon going into Friday night. I hope you have a great weekend planned. We are at South Fort Chev in Fort Saskatchewan in the mobile James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com is their website. Book your private consultation today. Elks with a huge game tomorrow. And what else is going on tonight? Golden Bears home football game home against UBC. That's an important game. Bears and Pandas hockey home and home against McEwen this weekend. So what would it be? The Pandas would be home tonight.
Probably.
Bears are home tomorrow.
Yeah. Did they not call it Grant McEwen anymore?
I think it's just McEwen University now, officially.
I think my niece said that to me because she's attending their first year out of high school, and she said it's McEwen.
Yeah, I think it's just McEwen. Huh. Yeah. Well, what can you do? Things change.
I wonder if Grant's ticked off about that.
You know what doesn't change is the excellence of our next guest. He is from the Sekeres and Price show based in Vancouver. Longtime Vancouver media personality, Matt Sekeres, checking in. Matt, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Hi, guys. How you doing, Reid? Congratulations on the new gig, buddy. Very happy for you.
Well, thank you. Yes, you were on my previous show several times over the years, and we always had fun and interesting chats about the plights of the sports teams in our cities for sure. Let's just start there. I'll start with just the kind of general one, and then we'll delve into some specific players and storylines. What's camp been like for Vancouver? Like here in Edmonton, we get a lot of, and you know how passionate Oilers fans are because Canucks fans are like that too. But I get a lot of, yeah, it's cool, Reid. I'll watch next Wednesday. Like, what's it like there now, coming off a pretty good season for Vancouver?
Well, I'll say this: camp has been awesome here. Outside of the starting goaltender announcing on the eve of camp that he's got this rare muscle injury in the back of his leg and he doesn't have a timeline for return. So, started off not very good with Thatcher Demko. The Vezina Trophy runner-up last year. And as we sit here a couple of weeks later, we still don't have anything further on Thatcher Demko. So they're going to open the season without him. But from there, it got a whole lot better. They, for the first time in an awful long time, guys, had a couple of young players step up and look good in training camp. This is Aatu Ratu, a Finnish centerman who they got as part of the Bo Horvat trade from the Islanders a couple of years ago. And then Archie Baines, the former Western Hockey League scoring champion who got a cup of coffee cameo last year. these guys are still in camp. They're both in the lineup tonight against the Oilers. There is a fair chance that one, if not both of them, are going to make this hockey club. And of course, when you look at the carnage around the National Hockey League with some of these big stars who have gotten hurt in preseason, the Canucks can feel pretty lucky that, today, JT Miller got a knock in a scrimmage. They precautionary held him out until tonight. It's his first preseason game. Teddy Bluger reported to camp with a knock. They held him out. Tonight's his first preseason game. But Pius Suter got a little something this week. He's missed the last 2 days of practice. He's going to miss today. But all things considered, this was a very, very good camp for the Vancouver Canucks, outside of the goaltender being missing from tip to tail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Vinny Desharnais. Obviously, he's near and dear to the hearts of Oilers fans. He was a very likable and a crowd favorite here, but was obviously moved out. How is he fitting in with the Canucks during training camp?
Well, he's a hell of a talker now, isn't he? He has had us busting guts. He's been a trip from his very first media session when he signed shortly after July 1st, or on July 1st there. And every time he's gotten a microphone, he endears himself further and further to Vancouver Canucks fans. He seems to be fitting in pretty well. I'll tell you a quick story. They, like a lot of teams, kick off their season with a charity golf tournament. And so sure enough, all the players reported this golf course. And one of the Vancouver Canucks, I can't remember who it is. It was Connor Garland. Connor Garland was sort of the MC of this little Q&A session they did with players in front of all the sponsors. And his question to Vincent Desharnais was, "What have you learned about JT Miller?" And he said, "Well, I've learned JT Miller is an asshole." And that brought the house down. So, right from the get-go, he wasn't shy, and he's really burrowed himself into the hearts and minds of Vancouver Canucks fans with his quick wit and sense of humor. He was not able to move up from the third pair. He has formed a third pair here with Derek Forbert. That'll be the third pair tonight, and if this is in fact the dress rehearsal, then I suspect he will be your third pair right side defenseman Wednesday when they open the season against the Calgary Flames. Some of us thought, and particularly given the way Rick Tocchet and Adam Foote, who coaches their defensemen, characterized this guy, some thought that maybe he had some upward mobility and was able to leapfrog Tyler Myers for minutes, but thus far that has not happened.
Okay, well, you will enjoy his personality for sure, no doubt about that. An Edmonton angle, but not related to the Oilers, but I got to ask you about Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah. Well, he's in some ways the key to this season because, first of all, he's going to play the bumper spot on the power play. So he's going to play right between JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. 2 years ago, the left shooting Bo Horvat had terrific success in that spot, scored a ton of goals before they traded him. Last year, when they eventually went to Elias Lindholm in that spot, it didn't work as well, but in part because he was a right-handed shot. JT Miller just didn't like that dynamic of having to feed a pass through traffic to get to Lindholm, because that's what they want to do. They want Miller to operate off the left flank when Hughes isn't operating from the top, and they use Pettersson more as a shooter on the right side. So he's got a really, really big role to fill on the power play, on the first power play unit, and he's got a massive role to fill on the second line left wing beside Elias Pettersson. And really, guys, that's the reason why the Canucks went out and signed this player. Last year, as the season wore on, Elias Pettersson's effectiveness diminished. And look, one of the explanations was outside when Nils Höglander was going, and he was going for good parts of last year, just not in the playoffs and certainly not in the series against the Oilers. Pettersson was able to get some points, and that line was able to be effective. But really, it was a weak spot for the Canucks. They knew they needed to upgrade. They knew they needed to find a guy who could play with Pettersson and score some goals there. So the task falls to Jake DeBrusk. And now the excuse has been eliminated for Elias Pettersson, and it is critical that those two guys have chemistry because Elias has circled through a bunch of line mates here, and he is looking for that guy who can form a duo. You know, these NHL coaches these days, they love their duos. So JT Miller and Brock Besser are a duo with the Vancouver Canucks that have chemistry, and they're very much hoping that Jake DeBrusk can be that guy for Pettersson.
We've got Matt Sekeres on here from the Sekeres and Price Show. Matt, you got Jay here again. I want to ask you about an interesting player, a local guy from Surrey in Archdeep Baines. Is obviously a role model in the South Asian community. Can you tell us a bit about the path that it's taken for him to get to the Canucks, and if you think that he will be around come the start of the season?
Yeah, well, I mean, as I said earlier, he's been one of the better surprises here at training camp. Played some minor hockey here in Surrey, matriculated to the Western Hockey League, led the Western Hockey League in scoring, I want to say with Red Deer, but don't hold me to that. Went undrafted. The Vancouver Canucks, in fact, the previous regime, Jim Benning, it's another Edmonton tie, Jim Benning and that staff signed him. And look, when you're an undrafted kid at a major junior, chances that you'll play an NHL game are not very, very high. And yet he did really well for the minor league Canucks. And last year he turned himself into an AHL All-Star. And, he scores at the AHL level, Jay. I'm not sure he's going to score at the NHL level. We had someone on the show this week who had a scouting background, and I said, okay, if everything hits, what is he in the NHL? And they thought he would be a third-line forechecking winger who can, help you out and be a support scorer, but certainly not be a carry-the-mail guy. He had a cup of coffee last year. He was excellent in his NHL debut, playing on adrenaline, and had all sorts of scoring chances and just couldn't bury one against Colorado. Played a number of games, I want to say 4 more games thereafter, and just kind of wallflowered from there. It wasn't as noticeable, wasn't as in the mix. But Rick Tocchet has praised his training camp. They like his ability to forecheck. They think he's a good, responsible two-way player, and he's certainly had to become that in pro hockey and not just rely on his scoring. And he's right there fighting and clawing for the final roster spots. They have Dakota Joshua, who's recovering from testicular cancer and surgery, who's on the sidelines right now, so there's opportunity there. And there may also be opportunity if Pius Suter has to miss the opener or any time because, as I mentioned, he's been dinged this week and hasn't practiced and hasn't played. So suddenly some opportunity has become available in the Canucks forward ranks, and Archdeep is right there trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah, he'll be interesting to watch for sure. And yeah, he was a Rebel. So Mooner, my old league, is pulling for him.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? The second largest Punjabi population on this planet is here in BC's Lower Mainland, only behind Punjab province itself. So this kid has a whole community in his corner. And look, this is not something we have seen a lot of. I know there was Jujhar Khaira. You can go back all the way back to Robin Bawa. But we haven't seen a ton of South Asian kids make it to the National Hockey League, despite the fact we have large South Asian populations in many of the big cities here in Canada, and despite the fact that they are massive hockey fans. So, yeah, this is a player who's not just important to the Vancouver Canucks from a depth perspective and from a development perspective, because that really hasn't been their strength for a long, long time, but he is very important to the Vancouver Canucks from a symbolic perspective, and because I think he's got a chance to inspire some kids in this community and across Canada.
Matt, I'm going to ask you one more, and I'll fully admit this might be the type of question where you might say, Reid, you didn't watch this team enough, you don't know what you're talking about, but I also know you well enough that you might say, hey, maybe you're onto something. The Canucks were a very resilient team last year. And then they got into the playoffs, dramatic games against Nashville, most of which they won. Dramatic comeback in game 1 against Edmonton. Dramatic comeback in game 4, though Edmonton ultimately won on the Bouchard goal. Last minute win in game 5. And then in game 7, they couldn't come back from 3-0 down. You might think
although made that reasonably dramatic too, before it was all said and done.
Was there a point where they were too comfortable playing from behind? Do you know what I mean?
Good question. Trying to rack my brain here, Reid, because early last season they were just flat blowing teams out.
Right.
Including the 2 games early against Edmonton. Early last season, so much was going their way. I mean, their shooting percentage was out of this world. Demko's save percentage against high danger chances was out of this world. The power play was clicking. There were a ton of nights where they made it look easy. In the second half of the season, the goals sort of dried up a little bit. And frankly, when they got behind in the second half last year, there was a lot of games that petered out and went quietly into the night, if I recall correctly. In the postseason, it is true. We saw this never say die attitude. And, that was rooted right from the jump. Like, let's remember, these guys hung for a couple of rounds in the bubble playoffs. But that was the first real Stanley Cup playoff experience for a lot of their players, a lot of their core players. The franchise hadn't qualified for a regular field 16-team Stanley Cup playoffs since 2015. So it had been 9 years. And right from the jump, they have all sorts of adversity because, as you mentioned, they come back and win the game, but also they lose their starting goaltender in game 1. And then Casey DeSmith has to play in game 2. And then lo and behold, Casey DeSmith gets injured and they have to go to their third goaltender, who is, of course, at that point, the untested, or at least certainly postseason untested, Arturs Shilovs. So, scratch, claw, fight, have to come back because you've given up some early leads. That became part of the DNA and part of the mantra in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but I would argue it was due to circumstances in a lot of cases, getting down your third goaltender. I think they became, you'll have to check me on this, but I think they became just the third team in the history of the NHL to have 3 different goaltenders win a game within a best-of-7 series. I believe Marc-Andre Fleury, Matt Murray, and I'm forgetting the third goaltender in Pittsburgh, one of those years where they won back-to-back cups. And then I think there was a team in the 70s that turned the trick. But, needless to say, an outlier. You don't want to play 3 goaltenders ever in the playoffs, let alone think you can win games with 3 of them.
I wonder if Jari from the Wilkins was already a rookie with the Penguins that year. I can't remember. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that at you. But I mean, they were pretty. That was a pretty fun series between the Oilers and Canucks for sure. Hey, Matt, thanks for being so generous with your time. I always love chatting with you, and I know I've bugged you a couple of times already to come on the show. So I really appreciate it, man. And we'll talk down the road.
I'm glad we were able to make it work out time-wise. Thanks for having me on, guys. Call anytime.
Right on. Matt Sekeres from the Sekeres and Price Show. There's a lot of storylines there for the Canucks going through their training camp. But, I mean, the Demko one is a big one. And as he said, he didn't finish the playoffs last year. Sounds like they like Jake DeBrusk. Sounds like they like Vinny. I don't know if I personally see Vinny as a second pairing guy. I think he can be a pretty solid third pairing guy.
That would be a reach,
But if he pushes for it.
I mean, if he's doing it,
for him. Okay, we got to do our flyaway to LA presented by the 780. So this is, we're giving away a trip. The draw is going to be November 29th, or the giveaway will be November 29th. The trip goes December 26th to the 30th. You get a flight for 2 to LA with hotel and rental car. You get tickets to Clippers, Warriors, Rams, Cardinals, and an NHL game featuring Edmonton. The 780 is a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780, both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com. The word 7 and then 80.com. 5 locations, Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. So we're going to pick a qualifier today, and we're going to pick from among those of you who text in the word fumble to 780-218-9999. The keyword today is fumble. We're qualifying 4 people every weekday on the Nielsen Show, this show, the Hangout, and Afternoons with Hernan and Gager. And then also we'll have a qualifier on Saturday during Hello Hockey. So the keyword today is fumble. 1 hour left. It's going to be the best one ever. Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, live from South Fort Chev in Fort Saskatchewan.
10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to Wheeler's. Storage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun, laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always The Ranch. The Ranch Golfing, 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Stuart Skinner gets a start net for the Oilers' final preseason game at 8 o'clock against the Canucks. And you can tune in to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, and former Oiler Joaquin Gage. Live at 7, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. 4 games starting in just moments with the Blue Jackets and the Penguins, Senators facing the Red Wings, the Lightning battling the Hurricanes, as well as the Rangers meeting the Islanders. Later, it's the Jets and the Flames, Wild playing the Blackhawks, and the Ducks visiting the Sharks in San Jose. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away indefinitely. Campbell was bought out by the Oilers this past offseason, signing with the Red Wings recently. In the CFL, the Blue Bombers duke it out against the Ticats while the Stamps hit the turf with the Lions. Tomorrow, the Elks battle the Riders in Commonwealth Stadium at 5 o'clock, and you could join Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne for the Green and Gold kickoff show live just an hour before the action. NFL injuries sees Amir White and Devontae Adams out for the Raiders. Romeo Dobbs of the Packers is questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku questionable with the chance to play for the Browns. And Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne live from South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
It's 4 minutes after 5. It's Friday, October 4th. Oilers tonight, 8 o'clock in Vancouver. U of A hockey, Pandas and Golden Bears playing tonight. Huge game for the Bears football team. without quarterback Eli Hitlinger. We don't expect to see him again the rest of the season for the 2-3 Bears playing UBC, who they had a pretty nice win at UBC to start the season. That seems like a long time ago now. And tomorrow Elks against Sask.
The Riders. Yeah, and don't forget tomorrow is the 2024 Chili Cook-Off presented by Edmonton Sports Talk, as well as the Elks Herd Turf District, and You Need a Barbecue. EST is bringing their own chili, not to be judged on or to can't win, but Maddie has prepared something beanless. We're not going to open that Pandora's box. Beanless chili, but every vote you cast, you're entered into draw for prizing. So if you're going down to the game tomorrow, show up early, go by the Elks tailgate and check it out. Now, I will say, Reid, I didn't, we've been just moving along here, and we didn't really have chances to go back to your off-topic topic.
Oh yeah, we've had a show chock full of content.
Chock full, and we're now award-winning. By the way, thanks Grumpy Cat for that. This came in for Pedro's Jerry Curl.
So the off-topic topic is your most irrational fear, based on Lauren Kyle saying that McDavid is afraid of ketchup. Now, again, we don't really know how she meant that, but that's what she says in part 5 of Inside the NHL.
I mean, she said it, so it's fact now, and
okay.
there's gonna be don't fear the ketchup bottle, T-shirts lying around whenever he goes to away games. Can you imagine?
Yeah, visiting fans are. Well, you'll hear my limericks later. By the way, I was thinking yesterday, are Oilers fans going to chant right blanking now, or are they going to chant dig in, dig in? Ooh. I think that'd be cool if Rogers Place got a dig in, dig in.
The right effing now would be a tough one.
You don't want to encourage that.
Don't want to really do that, but dig in. Dig.
Yeah, it'd be great. Like the team's holding on to a 3-2 lead with 5 minutes left, and the other team's pressing a little bit in the crowd.
Or what if
instead of "Let's go Oilers," dig in, dig. Yeah, that would inspire me.
Well, you know what? At the Georgia-Alabama game last weekend, which was an incredible game, the cheerleaders would hold up "Alla" to one side of the stadium, and then the other "Bama, Alla." So what if it was "Dig in"? Right now.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
So Pedro's Jerry Curl came in and says, "My fear is chunks of cooked egg floating in the dishwater." I don't understand that, but I didn't understand ketchup either.
Yeah, that's quite a fear.
Chunks of cooked egg floating in the dishwater. I got to be honest, I don't even know what that means. But Bones also had chimed in and said, "I have to hype myself up to poop in an outhouse. If the wind blows on my buttocks, I'm done."
Yeah, pooping in a strange place. I don't know if that's a fear. That's just uncomfortable.
Okay, jeez. And we were talking with our guest earlier, who's going again tonight at the CFR. That was Layton Green in the Saddle Bronc, and mentioned that he lives in the Millerville area. And Big Maple, who was here earlier, got his Esty. Millerville has an Icelandic community that has a real old school ice creamery. That is a must. I thought he was doing a limerick there for a second. Must try if you're looking for a nice road trip for an afternoon.
Okay, awesome.
It's an ice creamery in Millerville.
Small town gem. That's pretty cool. All right, we have our qualifier for EST Flyaway to LA presented by the 780, and it is Corey B. Corey, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Thank you.
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Congratulations on qualifying. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel pretty great. Thank you.
It's like finding out you're like a small school that got an invite to the NCAA tournament. That's what it's like qualifying for Flyaway to LA. Have you been to Los Angeles before?
Sorry, what was that?
Have you been to Los Angeles before?
Oh, I have. Yeah, I've been to Los Angeles. It's probably been about 10 years now, though.
When you went there last, did you get a tattoo?
I did not. No, that was pre midlife crisis.
Will you watch the Oilers game tonight, or will it just be me, the only one watching Sportsnet?
I'll probably catch the first period, but I got to get up early for work, so
okay,
I'll catch the highlights in the morning.
Okay. Well, as always, thanks for listening. Glad to hear you qualified. We're going to be qualifying a whole bunch more people between now and late November, buddy. We'll see you around soon.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
All right. So they'll have a qualifier on Hello Hockey tomorrow, and then 4 more on Monday, and we keep rolling with that, which is going to be pretty fun.
I'll get a couple more in here. Jen Cool, poker aficionado. I am terrified of the ocean and whales. I have many heart attacks when I see a hole, even in a video. When I see a whale, even in a video, would never catch me on a cruise. I am a land animal. I would tell you that you would never catch this guy on a cruise either.
Well, that's the thing about if you grew up in Alberta, your experience with water is not going to be an ocean.
There's just too many weird things under the water that you can't see.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And Mikey, this is interesting because actually, Claire, this was somebody that chimed in right now on as far as an irrational fear. And remember, I was saying earlier that this is Mikey says, I have a fear of cotton balls. Remember we were talking about that?
Really?
That sound it makes, that sound that rubbing cotton balls together makes my skin crawl.
Interesting.
Blech.
Is that a fear or just an adverse reaction? I guess it's a form of a fear, I guess.
Well, Mikey has a fear of cotton balls. So I don't know if that's like if there was a ball pit at IKEA back in the day and it was full of cotton balls.
He's just afraid the rabbit's going to kick him when he spreads his legs apart.
Oh, no. We are off the rails. That was great.
What did I say? All right, 780-218-9999. Nasty Chat is the Nasty Chat on YouTube. You can also, of course, get us, and please tell your friend. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. We try to get to 100 every day, which helps get the YouTube algorithm going and get more Nasties involved in the show. You can get us through the TuneIn Radio app, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're already listening, you know that, but tell other people who want to listen because that's a hill we're trying to overcome as well, is for people to consume us, and it's pretty easy to do so.
Well, it's easy to do so when you're inside of this, crazy little thing we call EST. But yes, tell your friends, subscribe your friends, get them listening to EST, and we will take over the world eventually.
Yeah. Other than that, modest goals, everybody. Okay. It is time to present Buying or Selling, presented by Damon Bunting, who is a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. DamonBunting.com. You can also check him out on Instagram. His handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. I am going to throw I didn't tell Jay what we're going to talk about for this. I'm going to throw an Elks buying or selling at you as they play the Rough Riders. Of course, there's been a lot of doom and gloom about the Elks for the last 2 weeks with the quarterback discussion and, the Ford MBT thing and a lot of the uncertainty. It is still a very meaningful game.
Yes.
And it is a team they beat more recently than Saskatchewan beat Edmonton.
Yes.
I mean, it's not as if they're playing, the 72 Dolphins here. I think it's a game the Elks can win. Are you buying or selling that the Elks can exceed their season rushing average of 125 yards per game?
Buying.
You think they can rumble?
They will. They have to.
Well, yeah, if they're going to win.
If they're going to win, they need to rush for 140 yards or more and 2 tutties.
And the thing is, I know this isn't a shot against Ford, but they can do it without Ford in the lineup because they have.
They've done it better without Ford in the lineup.
I mean, even last week's game, which was, shall we say, poor?
That's probably
a polite way to put it.
We shall.
Rankin reeled off like 2 epic runs.
Yeah. No, and now you get back probably the fastest horse in the barn in Javon Leake. I mean, this is one of the fastest players in North America. And I was asking about it on the Hangout today, but I wasn't asking. I was making a point that with Javon Leake in the lineup, the Elks have been quite successful. And you look at the last 3 games that he's been out, not successful. So maybe Javon Leake is, maybe all this quarterback talk is been wasted breath. Javon Leake is the secret sauce that makes this chili cook for the Elks.
Well, the Riders look better lately. They don't have Rock Armstead, who was a big addition, who helped them beat Calgary, and then he didn't finish the game last week against Ottawa, and now he's not going to play. Look, I'm not going to sit here and get cocky about anything because they're 5-10 is 5-10, regardless of how they got there. But Saskatchewan's been extremely up and down. I think Trevor Harris is a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback. So, we'll see if the Elks and hope. I mean, look, the Elks secondary, if I were them, I would have wanted to play another game immediately after that last game ended because they got torched to get out there and prove themselves again. So I know it's felt so rotten all week. And hey, maybe on Monday we'll be like, well, they're eliminated, everybody. It could happen this weekend, unfortunately. But, I think if you look at the last 7 weeks or so, these two teams are fairly even, and you might even say Edmonton's been a little bit better than Saskatchewan.
Yeah, you could say that. And, Winnipeg outmatched them. They outclassed them. They just
out everything. Winnipeg played like the angrier team. Like, I think Winnipeg was more angry to have been tied early in the fourth quarter from the first half of the home and home than the Elks were to have lost it.
Sure.
Like, oddly enough, I think Winnipeg spent all week saying shouldn't have come down to the last 10 minutes. Winnipeg was saying we should have been blowing them out by halftime.
Well, and here's the thing, Reid, is that last game, that last quarter, I mean, that was a 10-10 game that could have went either way, but it was a much more spirited Winnipeg team that ultimately got the win. Because there's still the question of who's the head coach next year, who's the general manager, and I really want to see how Jarius Jackson goes and prepares this team for this game.
Yeah.
I thought I would have seen more of that last game or even the first Winnipeg game.
Yeah.
But now this is it. This is Custer's last stand. And if you cannot motivate your players to play tomorrow in a must-win game, then you're not the guy.
Well, that's the bigger picture stuff that we touch on, and we'll probably talk more about in November and December. Who's the president? Who's the GM? Who's the coach? And then we get down to who's the quarterback and who are some of the players.
That's right.
But that's the unfortunate thing. Did Chris Jones push the franchise forward at all? Unfortunately, he did. Like,
yes,
I don't know.
Yes, he did by the players he brought in.
Some of them, yeah, I guess, but
some pretty key
not
players.
Winning though.
I know, but he brought in one of the most electric players in the CFL this year in Javon Leake. Injury has kept him out of any MOP conversations, but when he's been on. Like you said about Harris, he's been good. He hasn't been great. Well, I'll tell you who else has been good, not great. McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
No,
he's been serviceable. Unfortunately, I've said this before. I don't think he has the get it done, get the win kind of mentality. But as a quarterback, you cannot say that he has been downright awful.
No, but I mean, who's that? Alberta Shank?
Yeah.
In the Nasties. Where does Ford play next year? And we don't know. And again, some Elks fans, and even me included, are saying, but is he an actual number one?
Well, that's the question.
And again, at the end of the day, we really don't know how Trey Ford feels. I mean, there's a lot of assumption, he must be ticked off. And I'm sure he wants to play more, but does he just feel ticked off? Does he there's good ways to feel ticked off?
Yep.
I think in life, sometimes it's okay to be a little ticked off and drive yourself
Sure.
forward. Has he given up on the Elks? Will he give up on the Elks? We really don't know. And again, with some of the other off-field stuff we were talking about, a lot could change between now and free agency or trade or whatever.
But then ask me, who's going to give Trey Ford a big contract next year? Right? There's not enough body of work to give him anything other than what he's deserving of, which Edmonton could easily match. Right?
Right, unless he just says, I don't want to play for this team anymore.
Well, okay, then go find big bucks somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I mean...
but that's the thing, is he, and we've talked about this, is he, what current starters is he obviously better than?
I don't know. Tell me.
I know. That's the thing. So what team is thinking Trey Ford's going to come in and save our
Calgary,
franchise?
Right? I mean,
and even that you could...
Yeah. But, and that's the thing. Like, and don't get me wrong. I am a Trey Ford guy. I want to see him succeed because of the story, because he's already in Edmonton. We've seen flashes of what Trey Ford can do.
Yeah.
but it just hasn't been consistent enough. And quite frankly, it's not like there's going to be a bidding war for Trey Ford to be signed as a free agent. I'm sorry, there's just not.
Oh my goodness, I see Hernan Salas is already standing by. He and Tom have the oil stream before and after tonight's game between the Oilers and the Canucks. First, the Coob sports update for Paramount Flooring.
Stuart Skinner gets a call for the Oilers' last preseason game at 8 o'clock against the Canucks. Join Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, and Joaquin Gage for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live at 7 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Right now, there's 4 preseason games live with the Blue Jackets leading 2-0 against the Penguins. The Red Wings up 1-0 against the Senators. And the Lightning Hurricane locked at zeros, while the Rangers Islanders are scoreless with about half the period to go in all those games. Later, it's the Jets and Flames Wild playing the Blackhawks, and the Ducks visiting the Sharks in San Jose. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away indefinitely. Campbell was bought out by the Oilers, signing with the Red Wings this offseason. In the CFL, the Blue Bombers duke it out against the Ticats, while the Stamps hit the turf with the Lions. Tomorrow, the Elks battle the Riders in Commonwealth Stadium and at 5 o'clock, and you could join Matthew Wannock and Jay Milne, where they'll be live for the Green and Gold kickoff show just an hour before the action. NFL injuries sees Zamir White and Devontae Adams out for the Raiders. Romeo Doubs of the Packers is questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku questionable with a chance to play for the Browns. And Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. The Latino Heat himself, Hernan Salas, will join Reid and Jay just after the break. This sports update has been brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly family owned and operated for 33 years, they provide flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Specializing in hardwood, vinyl, plank, tile, and carpet, Paramount Flooring is passionate about its craft and its customers. Visit their showroom at 10707 184th Street or go online at paramountflooring.ca to see the family-owned difference for yourself. Paramount Flooring, flooring for the life you live. I'm Zachary Kubish, and we'll be back with the Reid Wilkins Show just after the break.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton, 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
It's crunch time for your taste buds, because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips, combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in all its teen burger glory, or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger, for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Celebrate the grand opening of Sit and Sleep and discover a revolutionary way to shop for mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, you'll get free local delivery on any mattress over $5.99 and receive a bamboo cooling mattress protector. Get grand opening savings now with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the Association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
All right, we are at South Fort Chev today in Fort Saskatchewan. The staff here has treated us incredibly well. The U17 South Fort Chev AAA Rangers have been giving out pretzels and smokies and doing a slap shot contest in the parking lot. Been a really fun day. We've been with you from 6 a.m. until we'll be here till 6 p.m. at the end of this show in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Couple of limericks submitted by William Mike Spear, and we'll have our limericks later. Here they are. Two guys came out to the fort. Their job was to talk about sport. The Oilers' bottom pair gives us all a big scare. Now hit the thumbs up and support.
Oh,
Limerick
yes.
number 1 from William Mike Spear, who then writes, the Elks' playoff hopes hang by a thread. The season is basically dead. For reasons no one can see, they plan to start MBT, but at least Reid is now here and not on Ched.
That's great.
Those are pretty good from William Mike Spear. All right.
Oh, the name is fitting.
Speaking of pretty good, well, dare I say excellent, our colleague Hernan Salas ready to check in. Hernan, how are you doing?
Hernan, I think you're muted.
Hernan might be muted. Let's try him again. Hernan, old chap.
You might got to check your mic connection. Nothing on our side.
Okay, we don't have to do anything on our board here. Coop?
No,
Okay.
I can't do anything.
How come we
over here.
can't
It seems
see
like
our screen there anymore? Or are we up in the top corner there? Okay, anyway. We'll get Hernan. He's got the oil stream with Tom Gazzola. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yay! Yeah. If the mic has a little slash through it, that means it's muted. It doesn't actually say muted. It's a slash.
Just a little inside broadcasting tip there.
Just something I learned through my 24 years in the industry. All right. Hey, how excited are you to be back on the oil stream?
Oh, it's great. I can't wait to get going. I really, really want the preseason to end. As fired up as I get over the preseason games, I really want to get to the regular season here. So I'm intrigued by the game tonight's NHL lineup. So I'm pretty excited to see a few players here. So yeah, it's good to be back. We did a pregame show on Wednesday, but I'm really pumped for the postgame tonight.
Well, and a few storylines for me, so I'll toss them at you and see what you think. I mean, Derek Ryan's day-to-day. Philp is here. I see Frank Saravelli reporting that it wouldn't be surprised him if Philp were around at the start of the season. What do you think of that potential decision and just the storyline for Philp here over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's a guy that, took some time away from the game, just said he needed it. He's got a fascinating story. And to come back, guys, and not miss a beat, like he looks like he's ready to go. And for me, that's pretty surprising. I've liked everything he's done in the games. Looks like he's a good two-way guy. He's got some skill to go with it. And, I think I still think Derek Ryan's going to be there Wednesday, but he might stick around for a few weeks here. I would like to see him to get some games in Bakersfield in the top two lines and really get some minutes under him. But this is a guy that's earned to be here still, guys. And I think if he's here to start the season, it's going to be a great story. And there's something there with this player, so I'm pretty excited.
Hernan, I asked this earlier on the hangout to our handsome Tom Gazzola. And I just wanted to...
Yes, beans belong in Chile.
No, we're not doing that. But I appreciate your insight on that. A player like Arvidsson, is he going to provide more grit than that second line has seen? Because it's with Kane being out, obviously you lose a bit of that there, and the toughness and the on puck battles. But do you think Arvidsson's going to be able to fill that gap a little bit?
I do. When the Oilers played LA in the first round for the last 3 seasons, the one player that really I think annoyed a lot of Oilers fans and media was Dursey, who's no longer there, but Arvidsson as well. Arvidsson was he's got a little bit of jam to his game, and you've seen in the last 2 games he's played with Draisaitl. There's a connection there already. There's the chemistry is there. I think Skinner needs to get up to speed, and it'll take some time. It's always hard to play with guys like Draisaitl because they're so talented, and the way he can pass that puck on the forehand and on the backhand. But I like what Arvidsson brings. Now, Jay, is he going to muck it up and drop the mitts? No, but he's going to get under the opponent's skin and be able to produce and all that. So I like him. I think he's, like I said, I think he's got some jam and he's got the skill to go with it. So I'm pretty pumped to see that line get going because there could be some big things on that second line. And you got to look at Draisaitl. This is probably the best wingers he's had outside of what he plays with Mr. 97, obviously. But this is a couple nice wingers that the Oilers went out and got Draisaitl.
That's a good point. It in a lot of the McDavid Draisaitl era, if they haven't been together, the other guys' wingers and usually Leon's were sort of in flux. And even look through the playoffs, he played with different guys, including Perry and McLeod coming back from being healthy scratch against Dallas, which I couldn't believe that Knobloch did. And then they both had great games. And McLeod scored. I can't remember if Perry scored as well, but yeah. So anyway, on the back end, Nurse and Emerson will be there. Looks like Kulak with Stetcher, which means Dermott and Josh Brown are the scratches tonight, Hernan.
Yeah, interesting because Josh Brown's kind of been that guy with Kulak for the last 2-3 games. Travis Dermott's been okay. I think he is going to get a contract. It's a good depth piece. But, yeah, I think it makes sense to try Stetcher there. The player, I think, is an interesting one. He's limited to what he can bring, but he's going to give 120%. He's going to get in front of pucks. He's going to muck it up. I'd like to see the penalties kind of, reel those in a bit, but I like what Stetcher brings on that third pairing. Emerson, I don't really know, guys. I think he's been good. He's going to get a big test here once the season gets going. He's going to be playing with Darnell Nurse, and for me, the excuses are over with Darnell Nurse. It's either just be consistent, play well, and I'm not going to blame his partner anymore or anything like that. And I think it would be a little bit unfair too, because Emerson's a young guy with only 30 games of NHL experience. So I'm intrigued by these 2 guys today. Emerson and Stetcher are 2 guys I'm going to watch closely. I know what Stetcher can bring, but I want to see him with Kulak. And it's interesting to me that Josh Brown is going to sit this one out, and I can almost see this 6 guys being the 6th defenseman we're going to see on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. Our very own Hernan Salas, co-host of the Oil pre- and post-game show with Tom Gazzola. Given your affiliation with the Edmonton Elks Football Club over the past few years, what do you think? Obviously, I want to get your take on what's been the mishandling or the handling of the quarterback situation here in Edmonton, as well as, how do you think this team's going to come out tomorrow? I'm skeptical myself, and I think that's a large indictment on the coaching staff. But just what do you think, and how do you think this team will come out? And then chime in on the MBT versus Trey Ford talk.
It's an interesting one, Jay. I truly understand why they're going with MBT. They're still in a playoff race. They really want to get there. And when you have the interim tag on a few guys, they're coaching for right now. They're not coaching for next year, the year beyond that. They're doing it for what's coming up this week, and I think that's why they're sticking with MBT. Now, last week's game, I mean, it's not all on the quarterback. The defense was not very good. There's enough blame to go around for what happened last Friday, guys. But I do think, and it's funny because I had a good feeling going into that game. I have a little bit of a bad feeling going into this one. So they're probably going to come out and play well. They get Javon Leak back. Kevin Brown's going to sit this one out. I think offensively they'll be okay. And I know Saskatchewan's ranked in the top 3 in a lot of defensive categories, but I feel like the Elks have played well against Sask. And I know they've dropped some games at home, guys, but all those games I think the Elks could have won, even if you go back to last year. So for me, I think tomorrow's going to be a much closer game. I think the Elks always show up against the Riders. I think the defense is going to have something to prove. They're going to want to bounce back. And MBT's a veteran, and he's a guy that knows that he wasn't at his best last week. And listen, when a coach puts in when it's such a big controversy here with the fans, right? And some media that are going back and forth with Trey and McLeod. But the way I look at it is like Jarius Jackson is showing this confidence, naming him the starter. So he's going to want to go out there and produce for the guy that's backing him up. And I know he's 36, 37 years old, but I think when it comes to quarterbacks, they're kind of weird in that way. They're just a different animal altogether. So for me, MBT is, I think he'll be fine tomorrow. I think we just got to put to bed the quarterback controversy. I said it before the last game, whoever you pick, stick with for the remainder of the season.
Sure. Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. Listen,
right or wrong?
Yeah. For sure. A lot of our conversation that we have, whether it's in the bullpen when we're getting ready for our shows or even as recent as earlier today, seem to go to generally be around food. We both like to cook. We both like to eat. I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be smoking a couple pork shoulders this weekend. We're having the family over for family supper. I'm going to do some pulled pork. Hernan, I want to know if you're cooking anything special this weekend and what it is.
You know what? Tomorrow I think we're going to make chicken tacos.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. The girlfriend's gonna dice up the chicken, and we do it's like a Chilean version of a pico de gallo. I don't know if you like that kind of stuff, but yeah, and we'll have all the fixings for it, and we're just gonna chill at home, have some tacos, maybe a bottle of wine, and watch the Elks, and watch you guys on the pre and post.
That sounds like a lovely
I don't
Saturday.
Work. You're going to the game. What are you having?
Me?
Yeah, he said, what are you having on the pre and post tomorrow?
What am I going to have? Well, the jalapeno cheddar smoky from Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge is pretty choice. Tomorrow is Saturday, so I think it's a prime rib sandwich that's on special. So
wow.
I might dive into that. Although they do cook a mean pizza over there. Just a little personal pizza. So, I might just go with that.
You're not gonna try Maddie's chili?
If he wants to bring me some, I'd gladly try it. I would. I think it's going to be good. I think he's taking this quite seriously. So,
all right.
It was sorry guys. It was just crazy today on the hangout. Like he would not go away from the chili talk, and I don't know what it is with Maddie, but like when he's right, he's right.
That's for sure. I've learned that quickly. Hernan, thanks for giving us some extra airtime. I know you're going to be up late tonight, but should be an interesting end to the preseason between the Oilers and the Canucks. You and Tom start at 7, the GCL Diesel pregame oil stream. See you then, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Hernan Salas, wonderful colleague.
Isn't he? What a crew we've assembled here.
We are pretty lucky.
What a motley crew.
Well, we are Dr. Feelgood.
We'll do boom.
Limerick here from VR Montenegro. At South Fort, they help you with trucking, and a cowboy talked about bucking. Ketchup can terrify. Corey did qualify. 14 times did Connor say blanking.
No way. Who's
Rhymes
that
with
from?
trucking and bucking. That is a good one. VR Montenegro. That's really good. That tied in like 5 different things. Where we are, one guest, the off-topic topic, and the documentary and profanity. And VR Montenegro has left me impressed.
Wow.
And somewhat winded. I don't know why I got winded reading that. I'm in such terrible shape.
Hernan took your breath away.
Well, he is a Top Gun. That's from Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Cruise was in that. Tom Cruise was in that. He flew the plane.
Oh, Halsey.
780-218-9999. You can jump into the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Get your friends. We want to get to 100 thumbs up. We got a rally here late.
We got to have a late rally. We're behind the pace.
We will. I'll have my limericks. Jay will have his limerick on the fly. We'll give you some final thoughts here from South Fort Chev in Fort Saskatchewan. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Stuart Skinner gets a start for the Orange and Blue for their final preseason game at 8 o'clock against the Canucks. You can tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Hernan Salas, Tom Gazzola, and Joaquin Gage at 7 o'clock. Here and only here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Right now, it's the Blue Jackets tied 2-2 with the Penguins. Red Wings are up 2-0 against the Senators, while in New York, the Rangers lead 2-0 to the Islanders. The Lightning Hurricane are also scoreless with under 5 minutes to go in the first for all those games. Later, the Jets and the Flames duke it out while the Wild play the Blackhawks and the Ducks visit the Sharks in San Jose. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away indefinitely. Campbell was bought out by the Oilers, signing with the Red Wings this offseason. In the CFL, the Blue Bombers are winning 7-0 in the first quarter. Later, it's the Stamps hitting the turf with the Lions, and tomorrow the Elks battle the Riders at Commonwealth for 5 o'clock. You can join Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne for the Green and Gold kickoff show live just an hour before the action at 4. NFL injuries see Zamir White and Devontae Adams out for the Raiders. Romeo Dobbs of the Packers is questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku questionable with the chance to play for the Browns. And Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. Right after the break, it's the final segment of this Friday edition of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garret, Borg Warner, and Wholeset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers understood.
Okay, now into the second quarter in Hamilton. Bombers leading the Tiger Cats 10-7. There was a scoring play since Zach gave the score, so I wanted to update that. Calgary and BC at 8, Saskatchewan at the Elks tomorrow at 5 at Commonwealth Stadium. We'll have the Green and Gold pregame show at 4, and then the Green and Gold postgame show with Milne and Awanek, all from Century Casino. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X or whatever Elon wants to call it. At YEG Sports Talk for the station, at Jason Milne for Jason Milne, Milne, at Reid Wilkins for me. Reid is ReidWilkins. I have a very often misspelled first name, but that would be another word that gets misused or said incorrectly. Misspelt. No, it's not misspelt. It's misspelled.
Ah,
that would annoy you, wouldn't it? If I was like, if I said my name gets misspelt, you would have been a little upset, I think. Irregardless of other things I said.
Look at this.
What?
Beaumont Dusty says, in Edmonton, sports fans unite. Well, hang on. We should have checked this, but screw it. We're going to go live with this.
What?
Coob, do we have any Limerick music? I know we just talked about
we need a harp or a lyre.
Actually, well, I don't have a harp or anything, but let me check. I have it saved here.
Let's see what
it's called Irish Tavern.
Perfect. Nope.
It's too intense.
Yeah, this sounds like NFL football in Ireland.
That's a good point.
And the Limericks take the field.
Would it be Monday afternoon football there, or would it be really late Monday night football?
To be determined.
I think it'd be Tuesday morning football with the time change. We need someone to play a harp for our show. Read that.
Okay.
One. And I should clarify here. I'm picky with how this is done. If we're going
Yes.
to make limericks a thing on this show, and I want to, the rhyming scheme is AABBA, but the lines with the B rhymes are shorter than the lines with the A rhymes, like usually just 4 or 5 syllables.
I know, you've beaten me over this several times. In Edmonton, this is from Beaumont Dusty. In Edmonton, sports fans unite, with Oilers and Elks in the fight. From hockey's fierce clash to football's bold dash, their passion ignites every night.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I have my 3 limericks ready to go.
Let's do this.
I don't know which one to do first. I'll do this one first. We've spent the day amongst cars in Fort Sask. South Fort Chev, in case someone asks. A memorable date. On location is great, especially since I brought my pocket flask. We have a live audience.
Yeah, Claire here from South Fort Chev is loving it. Round of clicks. Claire's giving that round of clicks. Way to go, Claire.
All right. Which one should I do here? I'll do the football one. Commonwealth Stadium will need a good cleaning after being infested with Riders fans all screaming. They love their team. Grey Cup is the dream, but to win the West will require much scheming.
That's tight.
And I have another hockey one.
Okay.
Based on today.
Okay, Zach, if he nails this one, give him the clap soundbite. If he doesn't, give him the booze.
The Oilers end their preseason versus the Canucks. Will their fans yell out, McDavid sucks? Or will they throw ketchup to create a mess up as the packets fly? 97 might have to duck.
Good job, Zachary. I came up with my mind is a pretzel right now. Pun intended.
Your mind is a pretzel.
I've had 2 today. Okay. Today's off-topic topic is irrational fears. Reid proclaimed that spiders may induce tears. Connor is afraid of ketchup. Eat too much chili and you may require a checkup. Pretty sure that Grumpy Cat is currently out for some beers.
Oh, that's pretty good. Ties together a lot of things from the show today.
That was good. Okay, noted.
Oilers Canucks at 8. We have our own pre and post game show. Obviously, the Oil Stream. The game is televised on Sportsnet tonight. I will watch. There will be at least one other viewer. Somebody texted in.
Andrew said, "Don't worry, Reid. I'm going to watch it."
People
with you.
will watch Friday night, even if it's on in the background. Pretty much the NHL lineups for both teams. Maybe a couple of question marks. All right. So my question for Jay Milne is. Well, I don't even know if you've subscribed to Prime. Do you have Prime?
I don't know. That's a question for my kids. Maybe.
You're probably paying for it. Just I don't need to have kids to know that if you have a subscription, you're probably paying for it, not the kids. Don't worry, Daddy. It's on my PayPal.
Yeah, right.
Which will still be your PayPal.
Still my.
So would you want to watch? Do you want to watch Inside the NHL? And then I guess the sub question to that is, do you want to watch all 6 episodes or just the 2 Stanley Cup final Oiler ones?
Yeah, I would never watch just the 2 final, and I do want to watch it. That's why I was asking earlier, where do I consume this? So it is Prime. I would start from because I would imagine part of the beauty of this is the storytelling throughout the season. So if you were just to jump through, and I know why it was done, is to say, okay, I saw this, and this is now relevant because people are now going to have the whole weekend to do this.
Right.
But I believe there would be a part of it that does tell a story, and it builds up to obviously crescendo with the Stanley Cup finals. So, yeah, I definitely will be watching it.
I'll watch. So I watched part 5 this morning. Well, I was getting, because I just worked from home today instead of going to the station and then coming here. Yeah, I thought it was good. I was drawn into it. And again, even though I knew what happened, and I've been, fortunate enough to interview McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman, and who are featured in it. Tkachuk featured in it as well.
Let me ask you this. What do you think of the tiers? Because I know you haven't. I don't know if it was in the episode you watched, but it was all over social media today. That
I said that's how episode 5 starts.
Okay, sorry. Yeah,
the episode 5 starts with a quick snippet of the Oilers dressing room after Game 7.
And you were saying earlier
David
that
Balls.
this is hard to watch.
It was hard to watch.
Really?
It made me sad. It made me sad. Again, I don't when I say I'm not a fan, I mean that because there is a detachment for me as a broadcaster. That's just how I am. Maybe other broadcasters are different, but I still think it's okay to want the team that you're covering to win and want
it's better
the fans
for
that I interact with all the time to feel good, and for the civic pride and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was tough to see that after the game. And McDavid, like he is crying. He's not, oh, I got my head down and there's one tear. He is absolutely crying, and sitting in between Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl. It that hurts, right? That's your goal, and it's right there, and it's not like you get to try again the next day. You got to wait. You got to go through the whole process again just to hope to get that far again within a win of the Stanley Cup. I thought it was genuine, right? He's not.
But you know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be people saying, coming at Connor for that.
I hope not.
There will.
I hope not. But
don't kid yourself. I mean,
maybe other fans will.
Oh, of course. I'm not saying.
Yeah, of course, other fan bases will be looking to, just as Oilers fans might be looking for reasons to get on other guys. But I think every NHL player,
probably those Canucks fans,
maybe. I think every NHL player will respect that he was shown in a very vulnerable moment, because he's not the first player to cry after losing.
No,
in the Stanley Cup final.
And you know what? It's one of those things that you've never experienced in your life. He's never lost in Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
So you don't know what your emotions are going to be, how it's going to play out for you. It's like the birth of your child. You've never done it before. You don't know what's going to happen, So if you start crying like a little baby, it's okay.
Hyman, I should say this, and in that article we read that Mark Lazarus wrote on the series yesterday, he said, I wish there would have been more Hyman. We're very lucky now having, how long has Hyman been here? 3 years? And we all know, obviously, what a player he is, but he is very well-spoken, very community-minded, very proud to be an Oiler and play in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And he was great, because at one point, and he says this all the time, it's kind of one of his mantras, I guess, be the best version of yourself. He says that at one point in an interview. But then the cameras are in the dressing room after the second period of Game 6 against Dallas. So the Oilers are up 2-0. Got outplayed the entire, like the Oilers had 10 shots. I think the shots were 36-10 or whatever. They wound up winning 2-1, of course. So they're up 2-0. Probably felt like they were on the back heel, though, given the game flow. And you hear Hyman say, hey, take a breath, boys. Let's smile. We're 20 minutes away from the Stanley Cup final. Let's think about where we are here. And that's such, and as you know, Jay, and all the listeners who've heard me over the years or who are getting to know me, I love the mental side of it. I love talking about the attitude side of it and the confidence side of it. And that was such a, to me, that was really meaningful that he, and that he was the one who took the time to say that, instead of saying, like, he could have gone in there and be like, what are we doing, boys? You got to wake up. Why are we backpedaling here? He said, hey, boys, 20 minutes. Look where we are. We're up 2-0, 20 minutes away from the Stanley Cup. What would you sooner hear from a teammate? Yeah, in the back of your mind or in the front of you, everybody knows they got to play better. Everybody knows they were toying with fire, getting outshot like that. But Hyman reminded them, hey, we're not behind 2-0.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't like how we're playing.
Settle down.
We got the lead. Yeah. We hold a lead for 20 minutes, which we've done a lot this year. We're in the Stanley Cup final. So I love that. And, I think he's just wise person. You know, like how Ekholm comes across as like a wise person. You need that, right?
There's people and on teams that have the ability to say the right things at the right times,
right?
Given and almost like you say, a wisdom to them and what they're saying. And Uncle Jesse asked, any Edmonton media with a cameo in it?
Yes, several,
including
a. How old was I then? A 41-year-old Reid Wilkins. Yeah, but you see, well, I did not go to the games in Miami or in Sunrise, right? So there was you see a few guys at a scrum in Miami. Yes, but they do sort of some flashbacks to McDavid as a kid in Erie as a first-year Oiler. And I don't know if it was his first media scrum in Edmonton, but it was one of his first. And the shot is me, and I'm down in the corner holding a mic. I told you a friend texted me yesterday and said, "Oh, you had a beard." I said, "Yes, sometimes I had a beard."
Do you think you're going to get any royalties from Amazon?
No.
Why don't you ask? Do you want me to take on the role of your agent?
That'd be hilarious. How cocky and dumb would you have to be? Like way dumber and cockier than I am. But here's the thing, and I know sometimes I wind up in these scrums, like that Darnell scrum last year. It's me and him on camera, but I intentionally try to stand close to the player, because first of all, the TV cameras occupy the space straight across from the player. And sometimes there's 4 or 5 of them, so the radio and print guys are off to the side, and then I try to get close because I am not tall, I am not strong.
What's a print guy?
Newspaper and internet guy. So I try to get close to the player so I can get my mic in close and I'm not reaching out and my arm is getting tired, and the further away you are from the guy's mouth, the worse the audio sound. So I try to get right in next to their left or right elbow to get better audio. The bad thing about that is I often wind up in these shots or with half my face in the shot, or I'm seen looking around or looking goofy or whatever. But
I remember I sent you that clip when you were in the scrum when Speck asked that question to Nurse, I believe.
Well, that was a few. It was like, I think the Nurse one during the Dallas series.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I think, 2 Rashags, a Gene. And then I asked the last one. I maybe Speck did, but it was like a minute. But the way it was framed up on the Oilers website, it looks like it was just me and Darnell. And I look kind of goofy. We'll play that someday and break it down frame by frame. But you could kind of see my expression. I thought in my mind, like, oh, is he really doing this? And then also in my mind, I thought, I got to ask a question. It's like, well, if there's a scrum on the ice, I got to jump in even if I'm not the primary guy. I thought, well, I got to ask a question because I'm one of the regulars around there. So I got to get slapped down too. And then Nurse walked out after mine. I don't think specifically because of what I said. It was just he was probably going to take 4 or 5.
I think it was because of what you said.
Well, no question. I am pretty annoying. Goof ups. I had a lot of fun today. I didn't mark any down.
I'm
pretty bad with goof ups.
My mind. Oh, well, okay. I don't know. Maybe I said South Asian community, but I didn't know if you can say the Punjabi community, but he did.
I think you handled that well. I think you handled that well.
Okay.
Oh, and she actually texted to compliment you for asking that and getting into that.
Oh,
yeah.
You're welcome.
I actually did not know that. What Matt said, that Vancouver has the second largest Punjabi.
I didn't know that either.
Outside of the province of Punjab. I did not know that. That's cool. That's a cool stat or a cool fact.
What a hard-hitting question it was then. Zach, do you know? First off, put your pants back on. But secondly, do you know if any of there were goof ups for Reid or I?
I do, in fact, have my pants on. Gager is here in studio, so I can't frolic around. But no, I didn't really notice any goof ups. Nothing that really stood out that stuck out like a sore thumb or anything like that. So you guys are the champs and got the trophy.
All right. I am very pleased to see that people, Nasties, are starting to submit limericks. We may have even missed a couple in the Nasty chat. There was a boy named, well, I don't know if I should read this slide. There was a boy named Gigi whose idea of a power tool is a squeegee. Him and Reid are the best. Let's not forget the rest. I hope Dusty doesn't hurt me with a BB. That's a nice, bizarre, nonsensical one. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you to everybody at South Fort Chev in Fort Sask. If you couldn't make it today and you're looking for a vehicle, It's worth the drive. Check them out. They got a great staff. They're really friendly, and tons of inventory. I mean, we're surrounded by vehicles.
Well,
so
and
pretty cool.
you know what I will say is, even if you weren't able to make it down here today for the sales event, if you come in the future, in the near future, and you are interested in buying a new or used truck or car, just mention EST and they'll take care of you. Very good partners with EST. So thank you to South Fort Chevrolet. Thank you to the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Saskatchewan. We have a truck full of food that will be getting over to you guys.
Live programming on Edmonton Sports Talk in an hour with the Oil Stream pregame show. 10 a.m. tomorrow with Hello Hockey. 4 p.m. tomorrow with the Green and Gold kickoff show. And then back from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. starting with the Nielsen Show Monday morning. Thanks to Zach Kubish back at the Edmonton Sports Talk World Headquarters. On behalf of Jay, I'm Reid. Thanks for listening.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.